Hey y'all, welcome to this weekend's show. It's a special show today. I'm pretty excited. We're talking all new 2022 TVs, compare them to what we think are maybe last year's TVs, what's improved. Brandon's going to join me shortly. He's running a little late, but you know what? There's so much material to cover, so I can't wait to get started. Hi everyone for joining us, and let's go up real quick. There's a super chat already. Thanks, Matthew, for that. Let's jump in and start talking here. All right. I see Value Electronics has a listing for the Samsung QS95B QD-OLED. Yep. How do you think it will fare compared to the Sony A95K, and why do you think there isn't a lot of information on it? So this is an excellent question. Two things to unpack. First, why isn't there a lot of information on it? It's because Samsung didn't want to release it. As a matter of fact, they hid it during CES, right? The minute that Samsung found out that this TV won like best of show or whatever it was, they made it disappear. And none of the journalists, none of the influencers, none of the bloggers were able to even see this exact model. What they saw instead was Samsung Display's prototype, but not a real working TV, right? It was put on vivid mode or whatever. It actually belongs to Samsung Display. The actual model, this one, who knows? So, for whatever reason, Samsung is holding this model back from any information other than what Robert has. So, we'll ask Robert on Monday. He's going to be on my channel. We're going to do a live stream launch of the LG G2. That's exciting. We're going to go over prices, availability, pre ordering, all that good stuff on Monday around 12 p.m. Pacific time, 3 p.m. Eastern time. If you guys are free, jump on in, ask Robert anything you want, including the LG G2 as well as this. Now, how do I think it will compare the Samsung QS to the 95B? I think Sony TVs definitely are cinema color accurate TVs. The question is whether the Samsung QS95B will be a gaming machine. Oop, second. Hold on real quick, guys. Okay. The Sony focus always color accuracy, motion, upscaling, right? All the basics. Samsung, on the other hand, wants to wow you with features that work for the most part. So I expect this is pure speculation on my part, but Samsung makes gaming monitors. This TV would be perfect because Samsung has had VRR working. They have their own system on a chip. I believe they will have more features, maybe gaming features. Sony has VRR working as well. So the question is, will Samsung push gaming a little bit harder with this TV? I hope so. I hope it's a completely different TV because if you want to watch movies, you already have the Sony. And we're going to go over prices shortly down the line. Oh, and we'll be joined by Brandon Shu, and he's here. So thank you everyone for joining us, and thank you for that great question, Matthew. All right, so we have a lot in store for you guys today. And hey, Brandon, how's it
Hey,
going?
what's up? Can you hear me okay?
I can hear you. You can hear me? I have a
Yes.
new
Yeah.
microphone today, so I don't know if it's any good. So yeah,
You got a new
let's say hello
microphone?
to everyone that's here real quick. We got David Wheeland, Commando Soldier. It's a new name. Hey, Michael. See you there, buddy. Rick, Shaheen, Cairo. Hi, everyone. We're talking 2022 TVs today, but if you have questions about 2021 TVs, absolutely ask. And before we jump in, this is something that you're going to hear throughout this show. So please bear with me. I have to get rid of this TV. And I know I've been on. Hey, Brandon, do people want to get this TV? Well, I told him, look, I'm desperate. I will sell it for $4,000. So
Nice.
Brandon has the TV. It's in San Diego, local pickup only, and no more haggling, please. This is a drop dead price. It is an excellent TV. There's nothing wrong with it. It's just, frankly, I already have the 65-inch A90J. I don't have time to watch an 83-inch A90J. It was going to be in my home theater reference TV, but since I'm going to be doing some ultra short throw reviews this year anyway, I really don't need a large 83-inch TV, right? I have a 100-inch screen coming in. So the 83-inch A90J that I have in Brandon's possession, I never even took delivery of it, by the way. It has less than 200 hours, maybe even a lot less than that. It was calibrated by the Magician, and it's boxed up, ready to go, hardly used, quality control. It has an extended warranty also, right, Brandon? How many years is that?
It's
That we
5-year
purchased?
warranty.
We bought an
And
extended warranty on it, right? So this is a great deal. If you guys are willing to locally pick it up, Brandon will work it
see,
out.
it
Just,
works. It
yep,
works.
there it is. It's on display,
I
right?
mean, it
There's no
literally,
issues.
I turn it on for these videos. That's about it. Like it's sitting here, it's
Exactly.
perfect. And I'm sure I'm gonna talk to some of the people that I install for and some of my friends. I have some friends that do real estate. I'm gonna try to help as well. So
Oh,
we'll get
yeah.
it sold.
This at $4,000, and I'm not just pushing my TV, just generally speaking, even the LG C1 is going to be more than that. So if you guys are interested in a great deal, this is a chance to get it. So just something to think about. All right, let's talk about today. Today is 2022 TVs. Boom. So this is a list of all the 2022 TVs that are of interest to me. It's not all of them, but it's everything that I think is worth looking at over $1,500 from the 65 inch to the 100 inch. I'm not putting in the 55 inch because, for the most part, many of these TVs do come in a 55, but then some of them don't anymore. So we'll start with 65 inch, going up to 100 inch, and I'm going to cut the price off at $1,000. At this point, it's the TCL 8 series right here, or 6 series at $1,000. However, what you're going to see is a few cool things this year that I'm pretty excited about. So, real quick summary, new for 2022. And then when I say new, a completely new technology. And you guys know we've been excited about this for almost 2 years now. QD OLED, quantum dot OLED, all new technology. It is not the normal OLED that you guys are used to for the last several years from LG. This is produced by Samsung Display, and it puts the quantum dots in front. It is the color converting layer. It is not the same color filter as LG uses. It will be brighter than a typical LG OLED across the board. And there are only two models this year that has this. It's the Sony A95K and the Samsung QS95B. Not much detail on the Samsung. We just know that's the model number. No real pricing on it, but I'm going to assume it's close to the Sony at around 4,000, maybe a little less, possibly a little more, but definitely around 4,000. Now, improved for 2022. So these are TVs that are better, not all new, because these technologies existed before, but maybe they're better baked this year. So we have new mini LED models. Sony X95K is Sony's latest 4K LCD TV. It is their best 4K LCD TV. X95K has what they call backlight master drive. A lot of you are excited about that, but it is not exactly the same technology that was introduced way back when, a few years ago. It is basically their mini LED implementation with a whole lot more dimming zones. We expect around 300 dimming zones or so in the 65-inch size, and then it goes up from there. Then we have the Hisense U8H. That's their most affordable 4K LCD mini LED TV from Hisense, also their first introductory mini LED TV. And then we have the TCL 8 series. That's their new flagship mini LED from TCL. So that's all of the new mini LEDs. Of course, you have the current carryover mini LEDs from other brands like LG, the QNET series, and Samsung's Neo QLED. Mini LED last year carries over this year. We have a new heatsink OLED model. That is the LG G2. It joins the Sony A90J. So now we have two heatsink OLED TVs. Heatsinks make OLED TVs get a little bit brighter, and it disperses heat better. So everything is just a touch brighter. Now, I'm excited about this one. OLED gaming AI. So many of you complain, oh, I can't get an OLED because of burn-in. Starting this year in 2022, LG Display on all of its OLED panels sold to Panasonic, LG Electronics, and Sony, and hopefully Samsung, if they can get their act together. All these OLED panels will have the new EX technology, which is an AI predictive algorithm. They will know when you're gaming. So if you're using your TV and you're gaming HDR and you're doing all the things that you're afraid would cause burn-in, the panel will recognize that and automatically adjust for it. So your TV will not get too bright. You don't have to worry about dimming it. It will dim itself. But if you're only watching movies, HDR movies, it doesn't matter, Netflix, whatever, it will let your TV get a bit brighter because it knows you're not gaming. So you're watching mixed content. It will push your TV a little bit harder. This gives gamers a chance to do whatever they want. I don't want to say abuse the TV, but just game as you normally will. And the panel will know you're gaming and they will take that into account. I think this is a game changer because Sony TVs will get this, as well as LG and any other 2022 TV. Now, LG recently announced that they will be selling a new series of TVs that will have possibly the older panel. I don't know. And I don't know if this will apply to the A90J or the A80J that are still around in 2022. So I have to say, play it safe. If you want gaming AI on your OLED, get the definite 2022 models: B2, C2, G2, A80K, A90K. If it's a 2021 model, no guarantees. So that's something to think about. Oh, we got some super chats here. Hey, Gio, thank you for that. Thinking about getting my first OLED 77-inch C2. It'll be 3,500 pounds in the UK. Do you expect a big upgrade on the C1, or do you foresee any potential issues? So this is a great segue. We're going to answer your question as we get to the next slide, which is, let's go into this real quick. This is what I'm excited about. U8H Quantum 4K ULED Mini LED. It's under $1,500 for a 75-inch. Guys, this is unbelievable, right? So this kind of matches the TCL 6 series, which was also under 1,500 for 75-inch. So now we have two to choose from. And at 65-inch, I think it's going to be under 1,200. Something to keep in mind, the Hisense was slightly flawed. The U9G in Australia was its first mini LED. A lot of complaints. Hopefully they fix that. And it'll be definitely the U8H versus the 6 series. So we'll see how it does. Also, we're going to have a mini LED showdown in this price point, or in this price range under $3,000. Samsung's Neo QLED versus Sony's backlight master drive, and of course the 6 series versus Hisense's U8H. And lastly, gaming OLEDs for all. The C2 versus the A80K, which gets to you, Geo1741. We're talking about the LG C2. Okay, so let's look at this right now. What do we have here? This is everything priced above 1,500 up to 3,000. So I'm going to keep the price under 3,000 just to fit this graph in here. But more importantly, I want to focus on the LG C2 to answer Gio's question. So if you look at the C2, you have competitors in that space, right? You have the QN90B and you have the A80K. And for a lot more, you have, well, not even a lot more. For 300 more, you have the Sony X95K. So that's not in, it's not even in the list because it's not an OLED, but it is priced a little bit more, much to many of yours disappointment. Okay, the C2, if you notice, is 2,500. The C1 is currently 1,800 in the US. Now, I don't know if the price difference in the UK is similar, but that's about a $700 spread. And if you give it a few months, the C2 will probably drop $100 or $200, and then by Prime Day, maybe another $100 or $200, ultimately ending in where the C1 was in the summer of last year. What is the improvement to the C2? So we talked about the AI, right? The gaming AI. You didn't mention whether or not you game on it. The big improvement for the C2, I believe, is for gamers. With that gaming AI, you could do whatever you want. It knows you're gaming. It will then adjust accordingly. And so you will get to do whatever you want to do with that TV, whether it's gaming or streaming, and that AI is more efficient about it. Now, before that, it's not to say that LG didn't have it. Its technology was more of a per pixel adjustment. Each pixel was monitored, hardwired to some chip, and so they were trying to measure it on a per pixel basis. This is using AI. They removed all those wires, and they're looking at your usage overall, and they're trying to predict where on the TV is this happening? Is this brightness happening? And then with that in mind, they adjust the TV accordingly. This saves a whole lot of space on the TV. It gets to be a little bit thinner. It saves a lot of energy, and they believe that it's more effective, so they're implementing it. Whether this affects you, Geo, depends on what you're using this TV for. If you're using it for gaming and you want the brightest gaming possible, then the C2 will give you that. But if you're just watching movies and streaming, the C2 may be a little bit brighter because it really is the G series, I guess the G1 from last year. So the C2 benefits from that same G1 panel, the Evo panel last year, so it can be pushed a little bit harder. It's not necessarily a better TV in that respect, maybe just a little bit brighter. So if that's something that's important to you, go for it, but it's not per se, oh, this is an amazingly better TV. Because if you look at the 75-inch or the 77-inch, You notice that the C1 is 2,900. The C2 is not even in here because it's much more expensive in the 77-inch size. Let me jump to that real quick so you can see. At the 77-inch size, the C2 is 3,500, right? So 3,500 versus 2,900. That's about a $600 spread. It's actually pretty close. I'd actually go with the C2 if you're willing to wait. If you get it today, go with the C1 because I don't think it's worth that price difference. But if you're willing to wait until Prime Day, it'll probably settle down prices and it may even be around 3,000. At that point, 3,000, 3,100, that $200 difference isn't a big deal. So it definitely depends on how long you're willing to wait for that C2. So over there. Oh yeah, hit the like button. I forgot. Someone said hit the like button. Thank you.
You guys, I'm sure that people can tell you've had your coffee, and I'm still working on mine right now. So.
Well, I know you've
probably been up for like
pain
6
for the
hours.
last week. How
Yeah,
you feeling, man? I should have asked. How you doing?
I'm okay. I'm doing fine. My foot's recovering nicely. It's actually healing up faster than I thought. The thing that's been the worst is my sleeping habits. I've been like, I haven't gotten activity, so it's like hard. My step count had been going from like 15,000 steps a day to like at best 1,000, and most of the time it's like 300. So it's like because I'm scooting around on my scooter all day. What's up, Jolster? How's it going, bro? Should have him pop on once in a while, man. Jolster's got to come on live. If you open invitation, if you want the link, man, we can send you the link.
Absolutely.
Right
now. Always fun to have him on.
Yeah, Jolster's awesome, man. He's got good info. But yeah, so I basically have the cast on. I throw it up here, but it's pointless. I got a cast on, but I get it checked out in 2 days on Monday. They're going to take the stitches out. And then after that, I don't know, I think 2 more weeks with another one on. And then after that, it's rehab. So it's actually going faster than I thought. I think instead of like 3 to 6 months or 6 months to 9 months, it's supposed to only be like 10 weeks of recovery.
Right.
So
right.
They put an internal brace in there but it didn't really cause any pain. I had a big cast on. Didn't cause too much pain.
How many months did you say it'll take before you're almost 100%?
Like back to basketball shape, it could take like 6 months, 4 to 6 months. But I'm getting information anywhere from 10 weeks that I'll be back walking to, like 6 months. So that's like what, almost 3 months to 6 months, somewhere in that range. So hopefully I can move my foot in the cast. I'm starting to like use the cast as like a way for my ankle to like strengthen. So I'm like moving my foot in there. It doesn't hurt at all. So I'm like 10, 12 days out. So it's getting better.
I think at some point, whether you turn 40 or 45, you're going to have to make the transition from pickup basketball to yoga, man.
Well, I'm 43, man. So it's already passed. Like I injured it. I injured on the basketball court, but listen, the day before surgery, I played in a basketball game full speed, scored a bunch of points, I played hard, and we'll see. At some point we all got to quit playing the hard sports, I guess.
It hurts to put it away, but it's so hard, especially a lifetime athlete like you.
Well, I got two boys that enjoy sports, and I enjoy coaching them too. And so I want to be able to play like basketball and football with them at a level that not a competitive level, but I want to be out there with them. So I got to stop messing my ankles up.
Oh, and real quick, I don't know if I'm breaking up, but it looks like your connection is a little weak this week.
My connection is?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you know what? I have that thing going on. My computer must have reset. I can't see it because hold on, my camera's in the way. I gotta close my OneDrive.
I'll take a super chat here while you.
And then also, I think your mic sounds a little muffled. I don't know. It's a little.
Is my mic muffled?
It's a little muffled. It's not as clean as you normally have it.
But I'm buying a new mic. So
what kind of mic is it? Like a shotgun mic?
It's my binaural mic. I'm testing it out. I'm using it directly through the webcam.
Oops.
But if it doesn't work, it doesn't work.
It's not terrible. I was just saying it's not as because you asked for just asked to hear it. It's not quite as good as your other one.
I can't hear myself, so that's a problem. All right. Thanks for letting me know. I'm gonna have to fix that. Hey, Imran Kabir, thank you for the super chat. Hi guys, I recently bought an LG SP11RA 7.1.4 system to go with my LG C9. That is an OG. I am experiencing lag on my Xbox Series X with Dolby Atmos gaming. Did you experience it? So if you're going through yeah, and it's not just the LG. Going through eARC and gaming on your OLED, whether it's the Sony or the LG, this is an issue. The Sony has an issue in 4K 120 mode right now, is people are getting dropped audio. Unfortunately, the best, okay, so my suggestion is don't run audio through your TV, connect audio separately directly from your Series X. If you go through your TV, you're going to have eARC issues. Let me know if that's what you're doing. If you're connecting the Series X directly to your soundbar or your system, this shouldn't be an issue. So yeah, how are you connected? And let's see if we can figure this out for you. Jumping back into our list here real quick. This is exciting because I wanted to go over a few things that many of you want to talk about. The flagship pricing. So here are your best TVs in this size and price range in the 4K. And we're not going to talk about the QD-OLED because that's a bit high, but the Sony X95K, surprisingly, is the most expensive 65-inch TV out there, and the A90J is just a little bit more with its heatsink at 3000. So the Sony X95K at 2800, yes, it's MSRP, and it should go down at some point, but still, this is a few $100s more than the QN90B at 2500, the LG C2 at 2500, and the A80K, Sony's own OLED, at 2300, which is a surprise. Normally, Sony prices its A80K or A80 series a little bit higher than C2, but I think this year they're just going to be aggressive, right? So the X95K at 2800, when you see this, Brandon, does this make you lose interest, or do you think that Sony can make up the difference? I mean, it's awesome enough that this is not a big deal. It's not a deal breaker. It's only a few $100s more.
Which two TVs?
The Sony X95K, that backlight master drive mini LED with 300 dimming zones, is $300 more than the Samsung QN90B, which this year should have the same almost 800 dimming zones as last year, I think, right? That's
Yeah,
where
I
it's
know.
at.
I just watched Caleb's review of the X95K last night. Is that what we're talking about?
Yes,
X95K?
X95K,
Yeah.
the backlight master
Yeah.
drive. Yep.
It sounds like he was a little bit less than like stoked about the 300 zones, but it still performed pretty good. So I think it's going to be like, I don't think I don't know. It's tough. I don't know if I'd pay more for it. I was hoping like the Samsung QN90B would be like, it's probably more or less the same as last year's, but maybe they quality control a little better. I don't know. Or maybe they've worked on the
Maybe.
highlights a little better, but it's going to just be one of those things where probably the Samsung is just a little better in the dark room, and in a bright room, it's probably pick your favorite TV, maybe,
Yeah.
and I think it should be closer. I think I said that the X95J last year I was pretty impressed with it, but there were a couple things I wasn't super stoked about, and it was like the darkroom performance and kind of the blooming. But 300 zones definitely better than 60. And if you like Sony more than Samsung, Dolby Vision, all that, I don't know. It's tough to pay $300 more though, because they're both probably going to be extremely good TVs.
Right. And I'm personally excited about the Sony X95K. I didn't realize they would price it so high. So that's my beef.
Yeah,
If this was a master series, but being $300 off the block higher than the Samsung Q90B, now maybe it'll drop it once it hits the
yeah,
street
that's
and they'll be the
tough.
same. And that'll be a different story. But at 300 more, it's really hard to justify
Well, and
to
it's
me.
coming out earlier too, right? It's not going to be like something. We're not getting it in September like we got the
Mm, right.
X95J
It'll be
last
coming
time.
out late spring.
So
Yeah.
that's a positive, because then the prices should kind of work down toward Black Friday or whatever, a little
Right.
better.
I mean, and here's the thing, at this price, I'd be recommending the $2,300 Sony A80K. I mean, if this is your price range, the Sony A80K, other than you need that brightness, but moderately lit room, that Sony A80K is going to look amazing most of the time, right? If you're looking at 2022. But here's what I think is going to be a big winner. It's the $2,000 QN85B, because this year I believe they're going back to the VA panel. So now this is the Samsung number 2 TV, the 8, I guess the 80 series, right? Remember when the Q90R was really good, then the Q80R was really close. Yeah, the Q9FN and the Q8FN was really close. They're doing it again with the Q90B, and the Q85B is really close, but it's $2,000. I'm going to keep my eye on the QN85B because I believe that this, if it ends up being the VA, like everyone thinks it is, because the specs look like a VA specs with that HDR that's higher than last year's QN80 This could be a great one. And the TCL 8 series, similarly priced around 2000. This is going to be a winner, I think, for those looking. And by the time Black Friday hits, this QN85B will probably be closer to 1600. That is pretty cool. But let's not forget about the X90K. So the Sony X90K, here's something that not many of you probably know. We're hearing that the X90K may have even more dimming zones than last year's X95J and no ultra wide viewing angle. Now, to Sony, that's a gimp. They're going, oh, you know what? We're going to save money. We're going to throw out the ultra wide viewing angle. But little do they know, Sony fans have been asking them to get rid of it. So now your contrast will be a little bit better if you're in direct view, right? So if you're sitting in front of the TV, the X90K will end up looking better than the X95J, assuming that's what they're doing. So the two assumptions are they're not going to have the ultra wide anymore, and it'll have more dimming zones, so it can get even brighter than the X95J. So this is going to be pretty exciting. The X90K is going to end up being a value leader, and I don't know, it may even beat up on the Hisense and the TCL 6 series. So I'm pretty excited to see how that goes for sure. So, oh, hey, look, we have a guest on.
Yeah, I just want to make sure he's ready. What up?
What's up, guys?
Hey, your microphone's pretty loud. You might want to. Well, it's louder than FOMO's. I don't know. It's probably fine.
So here, I'm slightly muffled, and he's loud. You're the Goldilocks, Brandon.
Let's do it. Wait, what's your new thing? I don't think you say "let's do it" anymore, right?
Let's do this.
There you go.
That's what I say.
I love that. How you doing, bud?
Good. How are you guys doing?
Fantastic.
Doing great, man. What are you doing this weekend?
I am. I'm actually riding my e-bike. I'm doing some videos on this e-bike.
I'm jealous.
And it's pretty
how fast can the e-bike go? Like,
man, they go fast.
Do you push it?
Well, the fastest one I've used is 35 miles per hour, which on an e-bike, it's pretty fast.
Dude, 35 miles an hour on his scooters that's fast.
Oh, remember that? We me and Beat and Stella, I was
uncomfortable on that one that was going super fast.
Yeah, and then B, you were riding the one that goes like 25 miles per hour.
Yeah.
Remember the one that I had? It was like 35.
Yeah, you let me ride that one for a minute, and I was like, I was like, whoa, this thing's a little too fast.
Yeah, it's crazy, and I want to get another one that goes like 45 miles per hour.
It's
bigger.
I'm out of commission for another few weeks, so I can't.
I saw that, man.
I'll be back.
Fast recovery.
Thanks, brother. Man. I'll be good before summer. That's the good thing. That's why I moved the surgery up, so I could get.
Okay.
So I could get it done. I could get back out here before summer starts.
Yeah. Oh, that's good. That's good. Hey, good to see that you're fast recovery. I just heard that.
Yeah, it's working, man.
Yeah. So, how you been? How's the Ferrari, man?
No, with the gas prices going up, it would be sitting in the garage.
Dude, that's another big thing about the e-bikes right now. They're taking that advantage of all those high prices, and now the e-bikes, like, you don't have to use your car for short runs, which is pretty good. But man, that car was sick, dude. I loved it.
My neighborhood high school kids and e-bikes are the worst. If they're on a bicycle, I can see them. In an e-bike, they're trying to run red lights. They're flying across the street. Every time I'm turning, I'm like, is there an e-bike? Because they're going way too fast, and it scares the heck out of me, man. Kids with e-bikes, bad.
My editor guy, Eric, he's a really good guy. He told me that it's illegal to ride an e-bike in the forest, like in the woods in California, because they can light on fire.
Oh, dude, I didn't know that.
Well, that's what he said.
Yeah, well, they're making all this excuses. I don't think I never seen one unless you're charging it.
Well, no, like one guy took like one of those Trek ones or whatever, and they were like going up in the hills, and they were riding it so hard, like up the hills and down the hills, and like in the thing that it lit on fire, and they had to like get a helicopter to dump water on it before like it started a forest fire. And he got ticketed for having his e-bike in the hills, because you're not supposed to ride it off road like that. That's what he said. I mean, I'm not certain. He's a pretty smart dude, but I was thinking about getting one. I'm not. We live right by the mountain, though. I probably would want to take it up there occasionally, but I don't think I would be like riding off road.
Not worth it, man.
I think that the most problematic is being like people are riding those bikes like the fastest they can on like a regular like not on the street, but like on the sidewalk where people are walking and they're
Mhm.
provoking like this accidents with people, which is pretty dumb because eventually what's going to happen is they're going to put more rules to those e-bikes, and they're even going to make them in some places they're actually illegal. I think in the UK, and they're just putting limiters to the speed, and so instead of going like 30 miles or 28 miles, which I think is a class 3, they're going to make them to like go to like 15 to 20 miles, which is it's okay for in anyone, but for people who wants to have that extra speed at any given moment, it's just like you're going to have some limitations. But
Yeah.
it's just like all those people that are so irresponsible going so between on those residential areas or just sidewalks. It's just I don't do those things. I just ride it when it's safe. You just have to think of when it's safe. You can go.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
besides that, it's so much fun. I love it.
I saw FOMO and I were talking about electric cars too, and you're saying you're getting that EV6 from what is it, from Kia, right?
Yep.
Oh, I saw
And
that, dude. That
I
looks
saw
so
that's pretty
nice.
cool.
I have the
pretty cool looking
EV6.
car.
It's awesome.
Okay,
Dude,
yeah,
I
you got
saw
it.
that on the freeway. That thing looks so
It
cool.
does. You know what
It
other
is bad.
I didn't like the Mach E one or whatever. I didn't think that looked awesome, but I saw this white one with like black rims and tinted windows, and it had like a car, like a rack on top. It looks awesome with white.
It looks so
with
cool.
yeah. So we're getting our Tesla Y Performance comes in like 1 week, so I'm getting excited. We've been waiting for like 4 months, so because I mean, like we pay $600. We pay $600 to $800 a month for gas right now. We drive 30 miles. We drive 20 miles, 25 miles each way to get the kids, pick them back up, take them to sports. It's like we've been driving like over 100 miles a day. It's crazy.
Wow, that is crazy,
yeah.
man.
So the Tesla is going to pay for itself just for the lack of gas, and we already have a car payment on our RAV4 anyway, so it's like a no-brainer.
Right.
Wow, that's a lot of
Imran,
money.
thank you for following up, man. Let's get his super chat real quick. So this is follow-up to his question. He had some issues with Atmos. So Xbox and soundbar both separately connected to the TV. This means your soundbar is connected through eARC, I assume, and the Xbox is connected through one of the gaming HDMI ports. So yeah, that means this happens with a lot of TVs right now. You just can't trust the eARC connection between your TV, soundbar in game mode. Now, if you're watching movies, it shouldn't be an issue. But if you are in game mode, this has been an issue for Sony for sure in their 4K 120 mode, I believe. So you're gonna have to, right? I mean, have you had soundbar issues drop out? Because I know you game a lot on your OLED.
Yeah, I did. I had problems when I had the X95J, the one that Beat installer let me borrow one.
Oh yeah.
When I was testing the 4K 120 hertz, the sound was just like no sound at all. So it was funny because I had to actually switch the HDMI to standard in order for me to have sound, which is like it was pointless because standard you don't have even HDR. So I was like, what the hell? And that was with the PS5. With the Xbox, it worked fine.
Yeah,
it was so weird.
Very weird.
And firmware updates break it too. Sometimes it's working, and then they do an update, and suddenly eARC stops working. Right. So, Imran, if it's working or not working, the good thing is LG is constantly working on it. So, if you want Atmos sound, plug it in directly to the sound bar, and then I don't know if your sound bar has pass through, because some of the new Sony sound bars have a 4K 120 VRR pass through that you can plug your Xbox through the sound bar and then the sound bar to the TV, and that would take care of it. And I think that's why Sony did it, right? Just to solve the issue. But yeah, if your TV is the center point for everything, it's not a surprise you have an issue right now. It can be fixed.
Yeah, hopefully that gets fixed because it's so annoying. And I've only seen them mostly on Sony TVs, not on LGs, not even on Hisense. It's so weird. I've only seen it on Sony TVs. I don't know
what's
why.
weird? I'm still having this problem on my A90Js. Right now with my upstairs one, anyways, when I go to like add my Bluetooth headphones or I try to make like a change in my menu, it goes from like my source to the home screen. So I'm like watching Seinfeld. I got to put my headphones on, and so I click on Bluetooth, and instead of going to the Bluetooth menu, it goes to the home screen, and then I have to click on Bluetooth again, and then it does what I need. So it's like, you know, the last firmware update or whatever did that. So how do I tell Sony that that's what's happening? Like, you know, is that happening with everybody with the Sony TV, or is it just me? Like, it's such a weird thing, you know?
You're in San Diego near HQ, man.
Yeah.
Just knock on their door.
I got to call Pablo up. And be like, what's up? I told them I would. You know, in their credit, Sony is sending me the HT or this good for you, Joelster, if you want to. I could pass them off, but I'm getting the A7000 and the A5000. And so then I have my HDA9, so I can compare all 3 Sony soundbars. So I thought that'd be kind of cool.
Oh, that's cool.
That would be fun. Yeah.
Sony soundbars are pretty good.
They have good sound quality, and then they didn't always have good bass. But the new 5, the SASW5 or whatever, that thing can pound. It's a good sub.
Right. Hey, Joelster, based on this list, right? This is the price range. These are the blue bold are all the new models.
Yeah.
Which of these models are you most excited to get, and why?
Sure, I'm excited to get the C2, and because I wanna test it to the C1 to see if there's a big difference. So from what I heard, that the C2 will have the new Evo panel, but only like certain model sizes, right? I believe. And then the G1 is going to have the Evo panel plus the heatsink. So
or heat dissipation.
The G2, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
G2, right.
The G2.
Is heat dissipation the same as heat sink? Are we talking about the same thing, or are they just trying to play? This is like a word game.
It's the same thing. They don't want to call it heat sink because it may imply something else. I don't know. But yeah, it's pretty much just a panel dedicated to pulling away heat like the Sony.
Right.
Oh, let me recognize our good friend here.
What's up, Rainer?
Hey, man, thanks for that super sticker. Always appreciate the support.
Yeah, I did tell Rainer and everyone else, I almost pulled the trigger on an 85-inch QN800B, but I'm just
What happened?
I'm just like, shouldn't I just get either the 4K or I should get the 900B? I'm just like having that hard thing. That's kind of why people probably wait on the 800B. It's like, it's in the middle, but I saw the 800A and I thought it looked awesome. And for like a couple thousand less than the top series, you know, it's like 8K, but not as expensive. So I figured, you know what? It's early in the year. Don't just, you know, blow $6,500 on that TV. So I'm like, I'll wait.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, I forgot, hit the like buttons. If you can, please. First live stream back in a bit for me. But I see that the amount of people watching is creeping up, and I appreciate it if you could hit the like button, because then it starts to send it out to everybody else.
Yeah,
and we have nothing but illustrious guests. So
nothing. We're going to get another guest. I'm bringing in Brian.
I told Brian to jump on too. Awesome, man.
Yeah. I'm bringing him on right now.
You know what? Then we're going to go off the rails on Batman, because I want to go see that new Batman movie, and I
want to go see it too.
Is it good? I've heard only good things about it.
Well, it's got like initially one of the best ratings of any Batman movie. It's like 8.5 out of 10, and it's only been out for a little while. So,
B, let's go watch it at the Dolby Theater, man.
Let's go. I'm down. I can drive, but I gotta hobble my ass in there. I gotta pick my card up out of my tailgate and roll my card in. Hey, get the handicap seats.
I want to go see it at Dolby Theater.
So, Joelster, what is the budget for you for a Dream TV? Because everyone has a budget for a Dream TV. So in this list, you know, we kind of cut it off at 3,000. But if you had to pick a budget, what would it be, and what size TV?
Dude, I would love to get like a 65-inch. Probably my budget will probably be like 1,500, which is pretty tough for one of those.
Oh, wait. We do have it. So let's talk about 1,500 X90K. So I don't know if you missed it. The X90K is supposed to be the X95J with more dimming zones and no ultra-wide viewing angle technology. So it'll have more color saturation, a little bit better contrast, probably same blooming issues because, you know, it has a little bit more dimming zone, so maybe slightly better blooming control. Not mini LED, but it starts at 1,500 and most likely will drop to 13, 12, right?
Like 1,200 probably.
Right? And it's got VRR working now, although we know what happens with that. Local dimming zone stops, but still.
Yeah.
Could this be it?
This could be. I think, you know, that will be perfect. But I think I would love to get the C2 for that price, but I know for sure that
Mm,
we're gonna have to wait until like Black Friday, right,
yeah,
for the
or
price to
next
drop.
year.
And for a
Okay.
65-inch on that, it's probably gonna drop to like 1700 probably,
Yeah,
the
I see that.
1600. But yeah, that's the thing. Is like I'm excited for the new TVs, especially QD OLED. I want
Yeah,
to see a QD OLED, but I know out of the right now the prices are gonna be so expensive, so
I
high.
gotta
Right.
let me ask you something on that then. I was thinking about pulling the trigger right now, like literally right now on the Alienware monitor. Do you think it's
Dude,
worth it? $1,200?
dude, I ordered it and
You
my
did?
order got canceled.
What? Why?
my
It's sold out. I heard it's sold out already. So if you
Yeah.
haven't bought
Really?
it yet, you got to
So
wait for the next
I
allocation.
had this link that actually another YouTuber, I know if you guys seen him, is Victor's Reality. It's called Victor's Reality. He has the monitor and he sent me a link. And then so what happens is like when I ordered through the link, there's a big discount from 1300. It dropped to $980.
Really?
So, so yeah, it was like, oh my god, this is perfect. Like total, everything was like 1060, something
That's a
like that.
deal.
It's a pretty good deal. But then, like a couple of days later, they sent me an email. Oh, sorry, unfortunately, we canceled this because the price is wrong and this and that. If you want to order, the price is this 1300, but you will receive it by like around June. And I was like, oh no, never mind.
Yeah,
You know,
this one
so
on Dell, it says you can get it by the end of the month right here. It says March 28th, but it's full price. I mean, I don't
yeah,
know.
full price. So then I was thinking, it's an ultra wide monitor. I really like my monitors to be like 16:9. Ultra wide is nice, but I play mostly in consoles, so it's not gonna be good for consoles. And then and that was the big letdown. And on top of that, it doesn't support HDMI 2.1. It doesn't have 4K 120 hertz support, so it's mostly for like PC gamers, and it's good for like ultra wide
Well, do you think it
gaming, I
would be
guess.
good for someone who, like, basically the reason I want to get it is because I like my monitor, but when I watch my videos and I'm editing them on my C2 my C1 over there, they look so
Yeah.
much different. It looks so much better on the C1. So I thought if
Yeah.
I got that QD-OLED, it would be like more what people see when they watch my videos on TV. So when I edit
Yeah.
them, I can see kind of different flaws in them.
Yeah,
Besides the
that's
fact that, I don't say stuff that's important. No, I'm just
yeah,
kidding.
that's a pretty good point.
But,
Um,
it's yeah, you can get that for any TV. And I want a game. I just keep having a hard time picking a game that I want to play. I want to get a PC game that would be like fun to play.
yeah, right now I'm playing Elden Ring. It's pretty,
I heard everybody likes that, huh?
yeah, it's a pretty difficult game though. It's a really hard game
I
to
heard that's
understand it.
that's what Eric said. My guy, he plays Elden Ring and he plays like Call of
Yeah,
Duty and stuff. And he said Elden Ring's very hard. You have to like
it's
level
hard,
up.
but once you understand the mechanics and how it works and everything, it's you start to enjoying the game. I'm at that point. I'm starting to enjoy it. It's pretty awesome game. But
All right.
I also ordered one of those. It's called I one bright light. It's to calibrate the monitors. It's a system to
Oh
Okay.
yeah,
calibrate the monitors.
the calibration equipment.
The
Yeah.
calibration equipment. Yeah, I ordered that because I also wanna. Same thing happened that is happening with you. B. I want to get the colors um, calibrated on the monitor, so everything that I see on the monitor, I
Yeah.
want people
It looks more like that.
to look right. All the colors and everything. Besides, I also review a lot of monitors, so I want to get them calibrated to see if I see any difference
There you go.
between regular out of the box and the calibrated
I
monitor.
have one of those. I have an iBright. It's just sitting here. I have never used it. Um,
Oh,
you know,
really?
yeah, what's his name? Magician AV told me I should have it like scope the first time, like have it match his like actual
Hmm.
big calibrator, and then I could use it. So
Oh,
I just haven't started. I need to learn because it's one
Yeah.
of those things. Do you have
yeah.
a question, FOMO, or did someone else have a question? No,
Yeah.
you didn't. No worries. I saw something on here that was interesting. Someone said that the max amount of money that they would want to spend is 8,000 for an 83-inch QD OLED, and I think that probably will be the price. Like I don't know
Oh,
about you guys.
speaking of
Yeah,
83-inch QD
there you
OLED,
go.
this is not a QD OLED, but if you're in the market for an 83-inch heatsink OLED, king of TVs last year. You can buy mine. It's barely used. Actually, it hasn't been used at all. We have it on display at Brandon's place
Right
right there.
behind
So
me.
it's just sitting there doing nothing.
You should come get
Calibrated.
this. Jolster, you
Yes.
should come get it, man. Half
What
price.
is-
$4,000. It's been calibrated. It's got less than 200 hours on it, way less than that.
What is
It'll be boxed and ready to go, and local pickup only, no haggling. Just contact Brandon at his Instagram account, Be the Installer, which takes us to our next.
What were you gonna say, Jolster? What were you gonna say?
what TV is it, FOMO?
The
It's the
A90J.
83-inch A90J,
Oh.
man. Check it out.
Oh.
Right there.
Damn, that's man. I
That
never.
would look
great
great
to
I've
over your
seen
house,
an
but it's a
OLED
huge
that size.
TV.
It's insane, dude. That
Yeah.
picture.
It's a great TV, but
Just remove the mirror from your ceiling and put this up there.
yeah.
Imagine like recording myself.
Honestly, at 4,000, I'm not kidding. I almost want to keep it, but I have to, that would be my second one, and I really don't. I only
You
can
have to
put it in
pay
the game
gas.
room, but
Yeah.
it's a great price. So
Yep.
Yeah. I also, now for example, that TV you're selling it for what, like $4,000?
mhm.
You said
Which
yeah,
one?
the A90J $4,000. That's an 83-inch, $4,000.
and it's right now it's 6,000 plus. It's got a
Around
warranty
6,000.
and it's calibrated, so it's 2,000
Oh yeah,
less
it
than
has an extended warranty for everyone who's
and the
wondering.
tax is
It's got an extended
included,
warranty.
so that's a huge deal.
Yeah.
Yep. No
That's pretty
tax
awesome.
or anything, just local pickup. Which takes us to the better TV possibly this year, the G2. So A90J last year has the heatsink. It was the only TV with a heatsink, the one that I'm trying to get rid of. And then we have the G2 this year in 2022, which now also has the heatsink. Now, what excites me is not so much the heatsink, but it comes in 97 inches. So if you look at that image, that's a 97-inch TV that the
That's
family's
crazy.
watching. Now, it's hard to tell it's 97, but that's actually pretty large. So it's what? 14 inches larger than the 83-inch, and at that size, it's going to fight off a lot of projectors, I think. Now, we don't know what the price is yet. We're going to talk to Robert tomorrow, Monday about it, but we'll see. And then, of course, let's see, Monday is when they'll announce some of the prices. So hopefully they'll announce the 97-inch. I expect it not to be cheap. But speaking of premium, we have two QD-OLEDs this year, the Samsung QS95B and the Sony A95K, both produced by Samsung Display. But more importantly, what will Samsung do to differentiate from Sony? We know what Sony's going to do. Color accuracy, great upscaling. It is the movie reference TV. Is Samsung going to make this the gaming reference TV, like the Alienware? Hopefully, right? Because they got to do something different.
Yeah.
And of course,
they're probably gonna have more gaming features. Samsung focuses a lot on gaming, and I don't think there's gonna be much of a difference. But I remember from CES, I think they're going to have 144 hertz of refresh rate.
Take
right?
advantage of that, right? Push the VRR up to 144, then maybe. Hey, Sean, thank you for the super chat. Hi, FOMO, welcome, installer. Hope you are healthy and surgery went great. You almost back to best. Hello to Jolster.
Hello,
Thanks for the
Sean.
support. Give us a thumbs up, man. Thumbs up.
Hello, Sean.
Thank you. All right,
Thanks for the donation.
Yeah, don't forget to subscribe. Jolster needs it. Okay, so here we got some of the more expensive TVs. So this is everything above 3,000 basically, right? So carrying the bottom of this list is the Sony A90J at 3,000, 65-inch, and the Sony A80J at 3,000 for the 77-inch. But let's talk about the new 2022 TVs, the Sony A95K and the Samsung QS95B at 4,000. Now, we don't know what the pricing for Samsung is, but I cannot imagine it'll be over 4,000. It'll probably be around 4,000, possibly a little lower. We don't know yet what the LG G2 pricing will be at 65-inch, but it's going to be somewhere above 3,000. So the A90J ends up probably being a slightly better deal. It may be the same price as the A90J. We'll find out on Monday. And then at a 77-inch, for sure the LG G2 will be above 4,000. But the X95K is 3,800. Some people are complaining about that. Like, wow, that's almost the price of a G2 maybe, right? But definitely it's more expensive than the LG C2. That could be an issue for Sony. And, well, it's more expensive than the C2, the A80K, and the QN90B. A few $100s more, not huge. I'm most excited about for 3,000, possibly the U9H from Hisense or the TCL 8 series. But the $500 difference is not enough for me. I need it to go maybe 2,600. Then flagship value brands like TCL and Hisense can make a difference because 500, I'd still pay a little extra for the premium Sony or Samsung or LG. And then, of
Yeah.
course, it's 83-inch size. You have the LG G2. We don't know what the pricing yet is for that, but we know that A90J is 6,000 currently, and then you have the rest between 5 and 5,000 on the 2022 models. But the Sony X90K at 3,300, this to me makes me feel like maybe this is the X95J without a few things like their ultra wide viewing angle. And then lastly, 100-inch, we only have the G2. My guess is 20,000 plus, and then 8,000 for the TCL
20,000.
XL. It appears to be non-mini LED, and it's going to be similar to the 6 series from 2019 or 2020. So I think the real leader here will be the 2021 Samsung Q90A. Everyone who's seen both the X92J and the Q90A says they prefer the Q90A. So that's just
Wait, they
something to think
do?
about.
Wait,
Yes.
sorry, they prefer the QN90A over the X92J?
Yes. When it's
That's
head
weird.
to head, if it's the X92J alone, they go, wow, it's amazing. Then, well, when Brian comes on, he can tell you. Brian told me that when he brought on the Q90A next to it, he was like, oh my God.
Well, I
The
thought
X92J
initially,
is good.
in their little review at like, I thought they said when they were at Value Electronics, they liked the X92J better. Maybe I got it wrong. I thought they
Well,
said
you
it.
know, we'll hear from the horse's mouth when
No,
Brian
no, I
comes on.
don't doubt you. I just remember them
No,
saying that the
you're
Sony
right.
was like brighter and that the Samsung was like kind of suppressing highlights or something. So I'm not sure. Maybe they were backwards or something.
I think it was
Yeah.
more of maybe the color might be
Gotcha.
a little better on the Sony, but definitely the Q90A, when I spoke to Brian, it was brighter. Specular highlights were also brighter, and the contrast was noticeably better. And of course it has to be, right? It's got the mini LEDs and it's got more dimming zones. You're just winning with brute force at that point, I
Yeah.
think.
Yeah.
But the
Imagine if
key is,
Samsung includes Dolby Vision. I always thought, man,
I know,
Samsung will
right?
do so good with
That's
Dolby
what's
Vision.
holding some people back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And well, the question for many people though is at 20,000, 16, and 15, these are projector killers at the 100-inch size. Now, many people are now using projectors at 120, 150. Okay, there's still a place, but when you're at 100 inches, what are you guys thinking? I mean,
That's what I have right
is there
here.
any end to the size?
That's what I have right here. 103-inch right here projector. As you guys can see,
Okay.
I have it as a window. I don't know if you guys can see it, but it's like a sort of like a simulating a window
Uh-huh.
that it looks like
Oh,
it's raining.
No,
that's what it. Oh, that's so
not true.
funny.
That's actually a LCD, a 100-inch TV.
You
Yep.
should put like a zoo, like make it like there's like a tiger outside. You know what I mean? Like have it look like there's
Oh,
a
okay.
tiger.
I
So
have
there's like a
another
tiger
one.
behind
Dude,
you pacing around. That'd be hilarious.
check this out. I have another one that it's supposed to be in New York.
Wait, here. We have some inside information from India, guys. Normally, our leaks come from China, but Sean Colin, thank you again for joining us. He's saying the 2022 8K Samsung QN900B versus the Sony 8K Z9K. They're both in India, and Samsung and Sony are training their people, right? The retailers and so forth. The feedback from people who've seen both is that the QN900B has increased its brightness and its HDR is possibly better than the Z9K if it is to be believed. Fighting words, Sean. Fighting words. But
I mean, listen, I was already ready to buy the QN 900B. Rainer keeps telling me like, get it, just get it, trust me. And I'm not like Dolby Vision doesn't like kill me. It's more about the dirty screen effect for me. Like I just don't want to get a big ass TV like that and have like bad, my A90Js they're not perfect. I mean, but it's like you pretty much have good uniformity on OLEDs for the most part. FOMOS is great right here. Like I haven't seen anything in his, and my if I could just get a Samsung that is that bright and it's just got a uniform screen, I'd be happy, man. Even without Dolby Vision.
Yeah,
but yeah,
that's true. And that's what happens. Usually, that's the problem with the full array local dimming TVs, the dirty screen effect, right?
Mhm.
That's what I've seen most. But
No,
but you get a really good picture from the Samsung. I mean, it's super bright.
You know, it's interesting is so TCL put up their XL for 8,000, but what not a lot of people know is currently Hisense is selling the 97-inch H9G in Australia for 3,500. So there's a lot of margin to TCL's because it's the only sub $10,000 8K TV or sub $10,000
I don't,
100-inch TV,
yeah,
right?
it's not in
But
the same class as those other ones, though. I mean, it's not even
yeah,
close.
8,000 is way too much without mini LEDs. So
The
I'm thinking, you know,
TCL,
Hisense.
Yeah.
which
Go ahead.
TCL is that though? Just that one, like he showed us, right? The one that's like the 845-ish or whatever.
Well, this is technically a new model, but it doesn't have mini LED. So I suspect it's
It's
similar.
more or less. He even said to me, this is in line with like the 6 series. So, you know, I mean, it's I don't know. I wouldn't even consider that in the same ballpark. You know, there's a lot of 85-inch TVs. So, you know, wait, was that an 85? Is that what it was, right?
No, 100.
Oh, I'm
100.
sorry. Okay, 100. My bad.
Yeah,
My
that's what I
bad.
meant.
So
Yeah.
yeah, so
This is a
obviously it's bigger.
100 for
I
8,000
got
though.
you.
8,000, even though it's 100. I know Hisense is selling theirs for 3,500. I'm hoping TCL hears this and pushes it down a little bit more to sub 6,000. And the people in Australia love the Hisense 100-inch at 3,500. They think it's an amazing looking TV. And essentially,
Yeah.
I think it's an H9G equivalent. So that's pretty good. 3,500, that's where we're going, folks. Actually, that's a great question. What do you guys think? 100 inches, H9G level performance, but 3,500. Would you guys go for it? It's
Eh,
cheaper than any short throw, ultra short throw. That it
I don't know.
gets
I was literally gonna ask Jolster the same thing because I haven't seen a lot of the short throw projectors, but like I don't know how good the motion is and stuff compared because like the Hisense H9G, I hadn't had it outside to compare it versus something in a while. And I don't know, for some reason when I was watching football, the Super Bowl, the motion was like horrendous on it.
Yeah,
So
motion is horrendous on the
yeah,
Hisense.
but then I didn't
you gotta
notice it
put
on like
soap opera on.
movies. It was weird. I don't know. Maybe it's just because as I'm watching more TVs, I feel like I am not that I am great at reviewing TVs. I just try to give my opinion, but maybe I'm getting a little more refined in how I look at things, and it's just maybe finally I caught that from the Hisense. But what do you think, Jolster? Are you at that size? Would you pay $15,000 for any of those TVs, or would you be more likely to blow up, a short throw?
Yeah, I will. When you go to that size, like even like 85 inches and above, I think a projector is more suitable. I mean, in my opinion, just because it's just like, first of all, it's a little bit cheaper. There's some ultra shorter projectors that are like 2,500, and they're laser projectors, 4K resolution, beautiful colors, and there's some 3 laser projectors now that are like 3,500. I have one from Hisense. I don't know if you guys saw my video.
I haven't, but I want to see more of those because I want
Yeah.
to get into these more. Like I told you at CES, you know.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. So for when it comes down to size, I think a ultra short throw laser projector or even a short throw projector, I mean the picture quality it's amazing, but they're lacking in some of those features. For example, motion is not their strongest, feature on those ultra short throw, but they're coming up with better motion. I noticed
Mhm.
that. And also they're supporting 24p for movies. But another thing that I like about projectors versus a TV when it comes down to size is just that it's so much easier to move. I mean, look at this 103-inch, and that's the projector right there. And this is a
Yeah,
cheap 1080p projector. This is not even a 4K projector. And this is
Right.
like so portable, and still you're getting a really cool picture, right? So if for any reason I just want to go to Brian's house, say, hey, let's bring it over here. I'll just take it like that. It looks like a little
Yep.
box right here. I'll take it and
I like
boom,
that.
boom, and then we're watching an 100-inch size. In comparison for a TV, even if you want to carry an 85-inch TV, you need
True.
someone. Yeah,
oh my gosh, tell me about it. Trust me. Yeah, I
you
know.
need someone to help you.
You
Even
need
if I want
company
to bring it from
someones.
one place to another, I need a truck.
Yeah,
Mhm.
it's not
Just
Yeah.
to
happening.
just to take it. So
It's
Oh,
not advisable to do
no,
that.
no, definitely not. Even I have done it with a 65-inch myself, and it's
Yeah.
insane. So I can only imagine 100 or a 97-inch TV. Imagine if for some reason you wall mounted and then you turn it on and then boom, the dirty screen effect
Exactly.
is so bad.
That's
You're
what
like,
I'm
oh
saying.
my god, I gotta take it back.
That's what I'm saying with like the dirty screen for the larger TVs for the Samsung and all that. What? Oh,
Yeah.
speaking of Samsung, what was this one?
Oh, well, speaking of Samsung, let's take care of some super chats. And while we're at it, don't forget to click like, guys, if you love the content. Hey, Sean, thank you for another super chat. Does the 144 hertz, as in Samsung's Q900B, make a difference with watching fast-paced sports, fast action movie scenes, or it's just for gamers? I believe it's just for gamers. It
Yeah.
shouldn't make a difference with anything else because really it's to get, I guess, that action and that increased frame rate, and hopefully VRR extends that much. But right now it's in theory. We don't even know what the implementation is. Samsung has had FreeSync Premium for a few years now, and the first 2 years out the door, it was not good. It took a couple of updates before it was adequate. So with 144 hertz, I think it'll take a few updates before they know what to do with it. But I'm hoping it might help movies, but I don't expect it will. But you never know, right? We can always hope. And another one, thank you, Vamps, for that super chat. Hey, my Alienware QD-OLED ruined WRGB OLED for me. Now having to buy the A95K 65-inch. Yep, we know where that's going. FYI, Classy is coming to calibrate my AW and plans having the video out Monday. Oh, that's great, Vamp. So if you guys don't know, Classy is now ISF certified to be a calibrator. So he's flying all over the world to calibrate. So if you are in a penthouse in Singapore and you're okay, flying him in your private jet, he will drop everything and go. I guarantee it. But so this QD OLED is what we've been expecting, right? We expect well, Vamps, I don't have to tell you. I don't have it yet, but I know what to expect, and this just validates my expectation. I'm excited to get the 65-inch A95K. I locked my allocation down with Robert Zone. He is still taking pre-orders, so you guys, we've linked his information below. Just give him a call and say, hey, you saw his name on Pass the Remote. You want to reserve, it costs you nothing to reserve. If you change your mind, don't worry, there's a whole bunch of people behind you ready to pay $4,000 for a QD OLED. And this, I'm hoping to show you guys how much better it is when it's head to head against a calibrated A90J, which I still have. I have the 65-inch A90J. I'm going to compare it head to head with the A95K 65-inch and head to head with the LG G2 65-inch. This will be the showdown of literally the best OLED TVs you could buy in 2022. So I'm pretty excited about that. Hey, Joelster, tell
Yeah.
us what is your exciting TV review for the year? Like, which TV reviews do your audience most await when you do your reviews?
I get a lot of views on the C1 on on the OLED,
Because
LG
you're a
OLED.
gamer. You're a gamer, so you
I'm
get
a
a lot of.
gamer,
That's
so I
right.
focus more on those things and all those gaming features and
Mhm.
settings and all that stuff. I also get a lot on the Hisense. A lot of a lot of people, they like to game. They I noticed that they want to get those gaming features, but on a TV that is more budget friendly.
Yeah, we do
So
talk to a lot of people. Like most of our people here are like, they want to hear about the best TVs, but like everyone would probably admit, like it's not super easy to afford this expensive TVs. I sure couldn't afford any of the TVs that I buy unless it was that we, do YouTube. It's just like one of the trade-offs.
Yep.
Like luckily
yeah,
enough, we're kind of, it's an investment. We're trying to, utilize it as a business expense and try to show you the best. But I do find that people, they either want you to show you the best TVs or they're asking you what the best budget ones are. But the problem is,
yeah,
no one will watch my reviews when I do a budget TV review. It's
yeah,
like, I'm like, oh,
yeah,
let me show you this, like, AU 8000 Samsung, and then no one will watch the video.
yeah. I know.
Yep.
I saw a video from what's it called? Trends. What's it called? Digital Trends.
Oh yeah.
That he talked about that, about why he doesn't
Yeah,
review
why you won't
budget
review certain
TVs.
TVs? Yeah.
Yeah, and he made, it's a lot of good points. So first of all, there's a lot of people who buy those budget TVs that don't really care about the settings or how it
For
looks
sure.
or how it performs against other TVs. They're just buying a budget TV because they just want to have a TV. So that's why we don't normally review like those budget TVs. Although there's a lot of people who buys them, because they're just budget, they're 4K and they're HDR, and they just they don't care about if it's brighter, if it has darker better black levels. They just want to buy it because it's 4K. So, but yeah, I think the those OLEDs are the ones that I get more views because of those gaming features, especially from LG. But I'm interested in the, besides that Alienware monitor, I'm interested in the new Samsung G8 with the
Which
mini LED.
yeah. No, the 2021 and 2022, because I heard the 2021 was just panned by
No,
reviewers as
no,
overpriced and underperforming.
yeah, no. I'm talking about the new one, the new G8 Neo. It's coming out with mini LED and it's 4K, and it does have HDMI 2.1 features, and it's 32-inch. So that's the size that I want. 32-inch. I want 4K, and it's also a curved display. Which on monitors, I love curved displays on monitors. I don't like it on TVs. I never did, but on monitors, I do like the 4K 16 by 9 aspect ratio. So I'm excited for that one. I want to see that. It's probably going to be super bright since it's going to be mini LED. You know.
And a quick super chat. Let's take care of some business. Sean, Colin, thank you again for your support, buddy. I fully agree with Be the Installer. My XTV, I mean the QN900A 85-inch DSC, took a month to return. Yeah, Samsung's reputation with DSC is not good at the larger sizes. But now the problem is
Yeah.
the brightness and almost very good blacks. You get spoiled and nothing else makes you satisfied. So when the Q900B
Yeah.
or Q900A works well, it's bright, it's got the deepest blacks. I mean, it is a wow
It's
TV.
over. It's over. Once you get something that bright and you can, especially the 8K, like we said, I thought when we went to the TV shootout, like the 4K was like suppressed highlights, but the 8K was like more unleashed. So it was like when it was a bright scene, even though what was it, the W1 or something? What was the one that we were? No, I'm sorry. What was the big one? Z1, the LG
Z9J,
OLED.
the Sony Z9J. Oh, the OLED.
I'm sorry, the LG OLED, that one for 8K.
Oh yeah, the LG 8K Z, the Z,
Whatever.
what is it? The Z,
is it Z1?
Z1?
Anyway, or Z10, ZX, whatever. It was
Z9?
so
Z9.
bright, but it was nice. But the point is that this TV looks so bright, and then we turn the lights off, and in the dark scenes, you're like, wow, this is as good as an OLED, but it was so bright. So yeah, if you can get rid of that DSC, it's all over, man. That's it. You're not gonna.
And also, the 100. Let's just take that mini LED. If you go to the 100-inch, there is no OLED yet until this year. That's 100 inches, but I just think Samsung has nailed the technology for LCD TVs. I mean, it's so close to OLED. I've told many people, unless you're in a pitch dark room, you're gonna love the Samsung.
And at worst, even with the suppressed highlights, you wouldn't notice that unless you have the two TVs next to each other. So like, I had the 85-inch, and people were like, wow, it's as good or better than your, 83-inch A90J. And I'm like, nah, I don't know about that. But I mean, it's pretty much in bright scenes, it's brighter and it reflects better. It handles reflections better.
Agreed. Okay, so quick super chat from Steven Katsenos. Any info on the Sony A80K? Will it be better than the C2 brightness-wise and details? So let's look at it real quick. Here's some info on it that we have right now. So the A80K will be slightly cheaper than the C2 at launch, which is surprising. Normally that's not the case. The A80K and the C2 will both be using the new LG Display EX panel, which means you can game on it and it will adjust its brightness to prevent burn-in, and both will be a little bit brighter than last year because they share the G1's Evo technology now, or they share the latest OLED panel. Sony doesn't call it Evo, but the C2 will be pushed a little bit brighter than the C1. Whether the A80K will be brighter than C2 depends. Normally, Sony is not brighter than LG, normally. Now, will this year change? We don't know, but you're not going to notice the brightest difference. So I have to emphasize that, Stephen. Unless you have the TV side by side, any brightness difference is very subtle. We're talking maybe 50 nits at between 600 and 700 nits. You're not going to notice the difference between 600 and 650 or 650 and 700. And this, we're talking about peak specular highlights. The only issue with the A80J last year was it had more aggressive dimming. The automatic brightness limiter dims it a little bit, whereas the C series, you could make it push harder. However, with the new AI, it will allow the Sony to push a little bit brighter and make the automatic brightness limiter less aggressive. So we're hoping that it'll be very similar. I personally prefer the Sony generally because its motion is good, but then every year LG slightly improves its motion. So I think you choose the one where you enjoy the brand's priorities. Sony's priority is out of the box color accuracy. You're done. LG's priority is you plug it into any gaming system, console, it's going to work better than any other TV on the market. So if you're a gamer, get the LG. If you're not a gamer, I say get the A80K because your upscaling and motion generally will be better than anybody else out there.
Yeah.
Hopefully that answers the question.
There's a question that I saw there. I thought it was pretty good. What do you guys think
Uh-huh.
about the 42-inch C2? Do you think it's going to be less brighter than bigger
Yes.
sizes
So this, yeah,
because of the
good question.
size?
So let's talk about this 42-inch. Smaller OLEDs can never get as bright. It doesn't matter if you push it hard. The fact that it's a smaller OLED, it will not look bright. So they're not
Yeah.
going to push it because that additional whatever nits, you're not going to notice it. But you take that same brightness and you put it on 77 inches, it just looks brighter. So
Yeah.
that's why they're reserving pushing these additional nits on their larger TV because when you get an extra 50 nits on a 77 inch or 100 inch, you see it. On a 48 inch, it doesn't make a big difference. And so I think
Yeah.
LG, rather than waste money on pushing that extra few nits on a small TV, they're saying, look, it's an OLED. You buy an OLED for blacks. For
Yeah.
brightness, go large. So yeah,
Yeah.
it's not going to be pushed as hard. So its rating for nits peak will be a little bit lower than the larger sizes.
Yeah. It's just plus it's just a smaller size, so
Yeah,
the lights that LEDs in the background they can't be that bright. It's just a smaller, you know.
yeah.
Um, Also, that's one thing about when people are when I mentioned talk about the monitors, and I mentioned is HDR 400, and a lot of people think, oh, it's not bright enough for HDR, it's just not bright enough. But when you see it in person, you're so close to the monitor, you can
Yeah,
see that difference. It's definitely bright, and
yeah.
sometimes you can even feel that heat because you're so close, so much closer than a regular TV. So that's why smaller displays they don't get as bright as the bigger TVs. It's just gonna
Hmm.
burn your eyes. I think in my
Hmm.
opinion, it's just insane. The
You,
bright.
you bring up a great point, Jolster, is if you use your monitor in the dark, it's way too bright.
Oh yeah,
It, I
yeah.
mean,
Wait.
OLED, you're about what? Like this is a 32 inch. I'm on less than 18 inches. This is
Yeah,
bright enough. And it's not even an OLED. And I know an OLED can get brighter than this. This is an
yeah.
Asus Pro Art, right? So, but it doesn't break 400 nits. And it's more than
It's
bright
still
enough for me. I
bright.
don't
Yeah,
put in HDR, so I don't care, but this is fine. I cannot imagine it getting brighter. Craziness.
no, yeah. Me neither. It's
All right,
just
let's take care
that's
of
why
super
it's
chat real
just
quick.
okay. Yeah, yeah. Go ahead.
Oh yeah, sorry, just jump in real quick. Shango, thank you for that very generous super chat, my friend. Gentlemen, I can't wait to see your reviews on the A95K and the G2. I'm so excited about that head to head. I'm super excited about the A95K, but we'll wait until an 83-inch version comes out. This is total FOMO before considering one. Do you think
Yeah.
it would be in 2023 or late 2022? Okay, so Shango, let me ask you this. Do you think the 77-inch will come out first? Because I think they're going to put the 77-inch before the 83. I mean, that's my guess. Otherwise, there's not enough production capacity right now at Samsung. Samsung Display
Mm.
is currently testing the waters with the Sony release. If Sony sells out, they're going to then increase capacity for more 5565. We suspect if they do at 75, definitely it'll be sometime in 2023, which means maybe a 2024 model. However, if it's 83 inch, they would have to put it in place at the end of this year. They would have to
Me.
start retooling because an 83-inch TV is a totally, I mean, you're going to have to,
They're
all these
gonna
tools.
sell out.
I think so too.
They're
Yeah.
gonna sell out. I mean, come on, the A90J sold out for like a while. It was hard to get those A90Js. This is,
Hmm.
I mean, this is QD-OLED, and it is better. I've seen it, and it is impressive. It is gonna. I mean, I think what did he say? Like he was getting around 1,000 nits.
Yeah,
Caleb said around that. I mean, it's bright.
Yeah.
It's a bright TV. It's beautiful. But
Sean,
so
thank you
now
for the
the size
super chat,
restrictions,
man. He's piling on the super chats.
65,
Thanks,
man.
Sean. I need to visit India. Can you please make sure this Yoshida has 85-inch TVs and not 65? So the answer is 8K
Yeah.
TVs will be 75/85 for sure. We will still have an 8K shootout this year. So you will see the 8K TVs, the Q900B, you will see the Z9K. Those two will be at their 75 or 85 inch. Now, whether we'll have the LG Z9 8K back or not will be up to Robert. For sure, those two will be out there fighting. And I'm hoping that maybe the Sony X95 maybe will be there somewhere at the 65-inch, so we can see how well Sony does against the Samsung QN90B. But yeah, we will have the larger ones, but it's only for the 8K though. So hold on, it'll be in July. I think early July, like July 9 or 10 or something like that. So mark your calendars. It's going to be fun.
Hey, Fumo, by any chance, do you know if the new Samsungs will have the one connection box, or it will be
No,
like on the
so only
regular
the
TV?
8K, same
And
as
the
last
frame,
year.
same as frame,
However,
yeah.
they will have 4 HDMI 2.1 ports, so it's okay.
Yeah.
We'll
What
have
about
four
the?
ports.
Yeah, I want to know if the frame. Not that it matters really that big a deal, but the frame. You know, it's weird. I don't know. I don't know. Is there an option? Like, how hard would it be for them to say, like, okay, we're gonna have the flagship 4K and you can get it with or without? You know, like,
Yeah,
you know,
they
is
do
it
that in Europe.
logistically? It'd be weird.
You're
I
right.
think.
They do
Yeah.
that in Europe. Yeah, they have
I
that
don't know
option
why
in
they don't
Europe.
have an option, at least the very minimum, where you can just buy it off of Samsung.com. Like, you want the One Connect box, so you buy it because, you know, like I said, I think a lot of Americans just hang the TV on the wall and the HDMI's and power are already
Yeah.
up there sometimes. But it would
Mhm.
be cool for some people that are going to put on a stand, just get the One Connect and just make it nice and clean, you know?
I have the Q90R with the One Connect. I love it. I think
Yeah.
it's very convenient, but I don't know what the I heard it was, I guess, conflicting reasons. One is Americans didn't buy it when it was available. They just went with a regular TV. And the other is was it behind the wall construction issues? I don't know. Maybe you
Yeah,
might know
it's
more
not
than
in
me.
wall rated. Yeah, it's not in wall
Yeah.
rated, so you can't, like, I mean, it's not technically sufficient to just put it in like a conduit or run it in the wall. That cord does have power, so they made like they had one that had like a, you know, it was coated better, but yeah, it's kind of a complicated cord because
Yeah.
it's
That
not
makes
really.
sense.
And
And
overseas, they just have a lot of stone walls, so they probably just keep it external. You know,
it's drill
a
it
lot
in.
of a lot of castles over there.
Hey, thanks for the super sticker support medal, and thanks for that shout out, my friend.
I saw that this question is pretty interesting. It says, should we treat this QD-OLED as any other first generation technology and wait to see? I think yes.
Yeah,
You
it
know,
could
this is a
be.
new technology, and I'm pretty sure they're going to squeeze it the most they can in the future. They're gonna like, oh, so now it's going to be 1,500 nits instead of
Yeah.
1,000.
So so let's talk about this. It's so exciting. Thank you for bringing that up. Okay, QD-OLED. This is the first generation. Now, what's limiting its performance is the OLED part, which is
Yeah.
4 layers of the blue stack. The problem is the blue. We're still using the blue from years ago, right? However, researchers have just found a way to make the blue brighter. I'm going to have a video on that shortly. But
Hmm.
this brighter blue, when you put it on a QD-OLED, it's going to be crazy bright because the quantum dot can go up to 4,000 nits or more. So it's not the quantum dots that are holding it back. We might get a 4,000 nit. Now, I'm just saying, if we can get the phosphorescent blue out in the next 2 years, everything changes for both LG and Samsung because
That'd be
LG
crazy.
put it in their TVs. It'll get brighter, but they're limited by their filter, right? So they cannot break 1,000
Yeah.
nits, but their average picture level will be brighter. It'll be as bright as the Samsung's average picture level, possibly. But for sure, the peak specular highlights on the QD-OLED with the new blue in about 2 years. Oh man, I don't know if micro LED will have a place. That thing is just so
I mean,
expensive.
and
Yeah.
that's kind of like what I was saying. Like, the right now, even just the QD this year, like the greens and the reds are so much like richer. Like, you'll see when you get a shot at it, like you're gonna be like, that looks as good as any like LED TV that we could get. You know, and if you're saying that they can do the blue even brighter, you know, be awesome.
Yeah, they're going to
Yeah.
keep improving. That's for sure. That's what this company
So you're
is
Oh
saying.
yeah.
saying maybe don't get the QD OLED monitor? I don't know, man. I'm still kind of
No, no.
tempted. I'm
Well,
tempted to do
as
it,
with
but
all
I'm
new
not really a
technology,
gamer
right?
though. I'm not really
Well,
a
Uh,
you guys
gamer.
remember 8 years ago how expensive OLED was, right? So you got an
yeah.
OLED 8 years ago. You come back, what? What? You can get a 55-inch for 1,200? What?
Let
Right?
me ask the people, would you guys actually watch a review of me, like more of a layperson, like with my QD OLED versus my Dell gaming monitor, and just looking at them from like a TV quality perspective? And not, I mean, I could play some games, but I don't know. You know, I could show some of the response, but isn't a typical LCD gaming monitor going to have a good response anyway?
Brian,
You know,
Hey,
What's
man.
up, crew?
what's
what up,
going on,
bro?
man?
Better late than never. How you guys doing?
Fantastic. How you
Good,
doing,
man.
bud? Sorry, I missed the last stream, man. I felt bad. I was like laid up when you guys were doing that last stream.
Oh, it's okay. Yeah, Brian helped me carry it. Hey, you
Wow.
were laid out. My internet connection was terrible. Brian
And you were
was
talking
carrying the
about
show.
gaming, which is not my forte anyways, right?
Yeah. Oh, hey, Brian, we had a question specifically for you. So we were asking the 100-inch, the 98-inch that you saw, the Sony X92J and the Samsung Q90A. On your video, you mentioned that maybe the X92J was a little bit better. You preferred something, but I spoke to you personally. I thought you definitely liked the Q90A better, but let us know, which one do you like better and what was the use case you saw? What would be your preference, assuming they're the same price? Let's just not say they're both $15,000 for the sake of argument.
Well, first I have to say hello to Joester. It's my first time being on camera with my boy. What's up, Joester?
What up, Brian?
Joester's my boy. Him and I have never actually spoken, but nicest guy on YouTube. What's up, Joester?
Yeah, dude, he's so nice. You guys are both
He's a
so
good
nice.
Dude. You know, we're the nice guys
awesome.
of the AV community.
I mean, like, why shouldn't we be nice? Right? I don't understand it. You know, we should.
But Joester and I go way back in the comments years now. But
oh man, I remember.
But the X92, you know, FOMO, as you always know, Sony, if you're looking for that accurate shadow detail, that image, then the Sony did that better. But in the video and in the way you and I spoke, it's which one grabs you when you walk in the room. And the QN90, you know, it just was very punchy, very saturated. It just jumped off the screen. And then even gaming on it, the local dimming wasn't 100%, but with the game bar where you can lower the black level, it made up for it and it looked beautiful. So I personally favored the Q90A.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I saw the video. I thought when you guys were just like, your first instincts were like that the Sony was better and brighter and all that. But I didn't, you know, I didn't catch all the Q&A kind of stuff you guys did afterwards. I watched a majority of the video, but yeah, I mean, who knows? They both would be like, anyone would be stoked to have either one of those, right? If one fell off a truck without breaking.
Yeah, I mean, you're really getting the size. It's just they were again, shadow detail. It's like we always talk about. The black levels on the Samsung were definitely very inky, and it looked incredible.
Yeah. Cool, man. Cool. Yo.
Well, it's nice to, you know, get that perspective, because a lot of people are interested in those TVs. And now that you see a comparison, I still think that this is a good time to buy the TVs from last year. You know, the prices are low. The quality is really good. There's going to be some improvements on their newer TVs, but I still think if you're looking for quality and savings, that's the last year TVs are going to be just the best choice right now.
Yeah, last year was a good year.
You have Brian, do you have the A90J still or no?
Yeah.
You have them? Yeah.
I mean, the 77.
And that's in my opinion one of the best buys. Like I don't think that A80K is going to be that like much different in my opinion. I don't know, maybe from a gaming perspective, is the VRR coming out?
Wait. Since someone mentioned the 83-inch, we have to say this again.
Oh, okay. I thought he was going to correct me, but anyways.
If you're ready for a $4,000 nearly new 83-inch A90J, it's at Brandon's place. It's mine.
Oh, that's yours. It's fully calibrated. You're like, please like and subscribe and swipe your credit card and come pick it up, please.
And Brandon will be someone already contacted me and was like, I see it said local, but I'm in North Carolina. And I'm like, that's not local.
Oh,
I live in San Diego, California. If people don't know, it's on the West Coast. It's very far from most other places. Right. So
San Diego.
I could possibly take this as far as like maybe halfway to Arizona or something, to like Phoenix, or like, you know, if you paid me to drive it to Arizona to have, you know, maybe. But yeah, Southern California, LA at the farthest, you know.
Just north of the border, right?
Yeah. I mean,
I'm not crossing the border with it. Nope, I'm not going down there, Joel.
B, let's go. Let's go to
He's going to translate. I'm only going to Joester. Joester knows his way around TJ a little bit. I don't really know.
I'll take you to get some good Chinese food over there. I know.
I'm down. Wait, Chinese food? Why not Mexican food?
There's a place called Hong Kong that I heard is pretty good Chinese food. I don't know. I have to go.
I have a friend that goes down to there a lot. He said there's all kinds of good restaurants down there to go to. TJ.
Yeah, man, that's a pretty good price for that 83-inch.
Man, Sean Callon is killing it with the super chats. Thank you again, my friend. This is the year of sporting events, Commonwealth Games, Asian Games, World Cup soccer. Agreed. The World Cup soccer is going to be crazy. World Cup cricket. Oh, wow. How many years? How often does it happen? Is it every year, every few years? So maybe TV prices will go down. No,
Maybe.
unfortunately, the supply chain
Yeah.
is still okay. The Sony did go down though, right? The A80K went down and the X90K went down, but everything else kind of stayed the same. But if you take inflation into account, maybe it did go down. I forgot about that. There's a
So
little bit
these
of
are official
inflation.
prices from Sony?
Just the reward points. So I posted it here so you could take a look at it real quick. Yeah.
He's like, look at this here. Buy my TV. Buy my
Oh,
TV.
what is this?
Yeah.
So everything that's in blue, Brian, are the new models. And if I don't have the price, then I put like mystery question mark. So this one
Yeah.
is everything that's between 1,000 and 3,000, let's say. But I know you're a baller, so let's go to the more expensive one. Okay, so this is everything above 3,000, right? So
Heavyweight
don't
division.
lie. So this is what we have so far. We're just missing the LG G2 prices, which Robert is going to be on my channel, live streaming on Monday to talk about what he's able to share. He's got new specs that has not been shared before, so let's see what that is. So we'll have fun talking to him. But yeah, my guess is the G2 is somewhere here, and it's probably within $100 of that, right?
Yeah,
So
I know the prices.
Yeah, I know you do, man. What interests you from this list, though? Like, which of these balling TVs would you get if you had no TV this year? You know, your wife threw it all out. He goes, you know what? You're getting all new TVs, Brian. Pick one. Which one
Well,
would it be?
I have the opportunity to upgrade my C1. I'll be doing that. So the ones that are in play are the Z9K and the G2 at 83. The problem is this VRR issue is going to take the Z9K out of the conversation. So
it's an 8K, but it doesn't have VR, or it cannot do VRR.
it
That's the
can. I
problem?
mean, it can and it will out of the box. They all will, but it will be if it
It
messes with the local.
turns off the local dimming.
Yeah, if it changes the local dimming, I can't do it. So, the A80K is going to be slightly different. It's going to have a lot better sound system, is what we're hearing. Like very good.
Brian, before you say anything further, you're talking about the Z9K. I wanted to bring you this little super chat that came out of India. So you'll like this one. It's normally I get a Chinese leak, but this time I got is this the one? Nope.
Yeah, that was it.
Was that the one?
It? I think it was.
Was it? No.
Yeah, that was it. Oh no, that was one of them.
No. There was one above that, right? Sean's got all this gold here today. Oh, okay. It's this one. Okay. Check this out. Oh, nope, wrong one. Oh man, he's like, it's this one. There we go. Okay. Q900B and the Z9K, they're both in India, and the retailers and the training, personnel, they all have it. His friends work in the biz, and they're telling him, we've seen both. Q900B is brighter, and HDR just looks better. If this is to be believed, so word of mouth, right? Who knows?
All right, that's the Z9K.
Z9K versus
So they're saying
Q900B.
the B, not the A.
B.
Oh, the Q900B. Okay, I was thinking 800. I'm sorry.
The Q900B is supposed to be even brighter than the Q900A. So
yes.
Yeah, I mean, it very well could be. I mean, none of these TVs, even the Z9J, they didn't even get to that 3,000. So I think the brightness race is not what I mean. The Vizios were at 3,000. So really, like real scene brightness, we'll see. I mean, I get that, but we'll see. I'll have to see how it looks. But again, the VRR, if it changes that, especially with the master drive, I can't do it. But it'll do 8K 60. That's already in it. I showed you that FOMO in the HDMI. They'll have 3 HDMI 2.1s. It'll be a beast, but the G2 right now is still the best all around as far as what it's going to have.
Yeah, it's a gaming A90J basically. This is a great comment by Michelle. So Michelle says, she's going to hold off on buying any TVs, right? She's going to wait until her crypto takes off. And I said, wait, what about QD-OLED? Is that an excuse? Her response is, that's a sucker's move. I wouldn't buy another 65-inch TV. I'd buy an 83-inch. And this is what we tell people all the time. If you're going to upgrade, get a bigger TV, right? It's slightly better, but get a bigger TV. Yeah. And she still wants to go short, though.
And I still think that if you're going to go bigger than 65-inch or 75, You know, when you're hitting that 80 inch mark, like 85, like just go for an ultra short throw.
I can't do it. I can't do it, Jolster, because those ultra throws cannot touch the black level.
Oh yeah.
So wait,
No.
so should I just get a freestyle? I'm just gonna buy a Samsung Freestyle for my TV. That's it.
Is that the one that's because
I'm just gonna shoot it at the wall.
Like I had the Hisense PX1 here, and I've done a lot of those with chain, and they're nice, but they can't touch black level or contrast ratio.
You can never compare the same black levels from a projector to a TV, but you also got to have a good screen for it. You know, you got to have an ALR screen if you want those black levels, and also on a projector, it's always good to have on a dark room. But the screen makes a big difference on the projectors, and also having the dark room. But the difference between that is just the size. I mean, you cannot buy a 120 inch OLED. You cannot buy 150 inch OLED.
Yeah.
You know,
hey, Jolster, you're talking about screens, so I know nothing of screens, right? Is there a big quality difference between like an elite screen or a silver ticket and SI or Stewart? I mean, you know, those
screen innovation.
People have money, but let's put the money aside. Is there a qualitative difference that you've noticed? I mean, what is that improvement?
Yeah, the especially the black levels. You know, there's gains. You know, there's gains like 0.8 and 1.2. So there's gains on the screens, and then so what happens is that the brightness and the black levels are increased, and also the quality. When you get closer to that, when you're projecting a size that is 120 inch, you start noticing those pixels more, because the bigger you go, you know, that's where you start noticing those pixels. So when you have the right screen, you notice that the quality remains even better. So it does make a huge impact on the screen that you get. But also I noticed that some brands are super expensive. For example, on this side I have a Chinese brand that is called XY Screens, and they have different models, but the one that I have is called PET Crystal. And I've done a lot of videos with this screen, and even with regular standard throw projectors. And even when I used a cheap, very small projector, it's like $600, 1080p. But when I did my video, I did it with this screen, and I noticed a lot of people were saying, "Whoa, what kind of screen are you using?" Because it makes it look so much better. Even though this screen is designed for ultra short throw projectors, but I was able to use it in a regular standard throw projector. So that's why when you're inside the projector and you want to have the best black levels and the brightest picture, you gotta have like the right screen for it. You know, usually white screens are great to increasing the brightness. When you have a white screen, you notice that the picture is bright. It's just like super bright, but that the black levels, they suffer the most, you know. But when you have an ALR screen, that's when it takes all that brightness, and those black levels, they look so much better. But yeah, even with that, you're still not gonna have the same black levels as an OLED, no matter what you do.
And that's my thing, is if to me 85 inches is the limit.
Yeah.
To where TVs start to get a little ridiculous, because then screen information does become a thing. But I mean, I agree. I think projectors are the best for immersion, but if you can get the beautiful black levels, the sharp image quality, all the color at least 83 or 85, because I live with those TVs every day. And there's a lot of misconceptions that over 65 TVs, you know, we have that all over YouTube. Oh, they're stupid. I'm like, okay, we'll live with one, you know, every day. And it's amazing. They're very immersive and they're beautiful.
Fine. I love my A90J. Look, I just know when I'm going to watch a movie on that, I'm so excited. It looks so good.
Right.
You know, like watching the Eternals, that like was like super dope, awesome, beautiful highlights, just everything.
The Atmos, I heard the Atmos is pretty good too. Well, speaking,
I wouldn't know. I just did a video on that. You know, I was going to tell people, check out the video. I did a video like speakers versus soundbar, just kind of like from like an installation and cost perspective. And you know, it's not the typical video I make, so it's kind of, the views are down a little, but check that out. It's actually it's good to know the kind of stuff that I put in there, because like I have vaulted ceilings, and I have all kinds of red flags with regards to getting a full system. So more or less what I think I'm going to do is just get a really good front center and, you know, front and center channel and a really good sub. And I'm just going to say to hell with my surround sound. You know, like I don't really need rears. Like I want the raw power coming from the screen. And I'm kind of sick of messing around with like the Sonos Arc I had, and even the HTA9, which is very like, it surrounds you, but unfortunately the A90J, it just doesn't work very good as a center channel. Even with how good it is, it's the like limiting factor on how good that system sounds. So,
Yeah.
And that's why
I'm gonna go full power, man.
and that's why you're going to see him. I had a friend over yesterday, and I had the HTA9 with the A80J, and he really liked it. But once we went 11 channels downstairs with full Atmos, with the SVS sub, he was like, that sounded like headphones. Exactly. But it's just extremely, again, it's a huge expense, and it's a mess, you know, and it's like having a PC over console.
Yeah, and you just got to worry about like the wire. I don't know. You probably have wiring and all that, and you know, people own versus rent and all that. There's just so many. There's so many that, and that's why I made the video. It's just kind of like, from my perspective, installing all these systems and doing a couple for my buddy that I showed in the video, and then my house. Like really, that's why I think people struggle with it. The questions they ask me, it's more about like the logistics than really if it's just like good like sound quality difference. You know?
Well, like a PC, it's ease of use.
Yeah,
turn it on, it goes on with a receiver. Phone one I've talked about, the Dolby Atmos, and what which wires are we using, which codec is going on, which one's not talking to which, and by the time I get into that, you've already watched 3 movies.
Brian,
to
continue your comments, because I think you were comparing the Z9J with the QN. You're talking about the Z9J and the QN900A. We're talking about that in the 8K setting. We felt, Brandon, I felt that the QN900A had more pop
than the Z9J.
But we didn't get because you were at the shootout. How did you feel the Z9J did against the QN900A at the shootout? The QN900A, I think, looks different now than it even did since the shootout. They've taken a good amount of updates. The QN90A at 90E looks better than the QN90A did at launch, like ridiculously different. Right.
So I still would give the Z9J, again, it's that processing, it's the cognitive processor, I think looks cleaner. And the Samsung, I thought the QN90A was very close to the Q900A, where the Z9J blew away the X95J. If that makes sense.
So now we have the question, because it looks like Sean wants to buy one of these two.
Damn, Sean.
He is ready to watch all the amazing sports this year, right? He's got World Cup, he's got World Cricket. I mean, he's like, yes, I could get a Z9K or a Q900B for just movies, TVs, and sports. So forget gaming. Which would it be? What are your gut feel? Because obviously we haven't seen it yet. I'll start. My gut feel is go with the Q900B, because I think that Samsung really knows how to make mini LED TVs. What are you guys thinking?
Well, first of all, I'm thinking that Sean is our new Dave Wieland this year. That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah,
he's going to be the guy with questions all year. I love it. He's the best. But anyway,
go ahead, Joelster. Finish. Go ahead. I'll go last.
Was he paying attention? Maybe not. I don't know.
Yeah, I think
Sony or
I think I will go for Samsung too.
Yeah,
I will go for Samsung too.
Yeah, I think I don't know much. I think this is the year I'm gonna probably pull the trigger on an 8K Samsung. I think that I want to have I don't know where I'm gonna put it, to be honest, but
you mean 8K and large, or 8K and small? Because Samsung has the 65-inch 8K.
No, I'm going 8K and big. I'm going.
Yeah.
All my
TVs
TVs are going to be 85-inch. So,
for me, for Sean, in theory, Sean, Samsung's track record. I did a Best Buy video, which is up now, guys. If you want to see it, their TV on display has a line defect through it. It's on the channel. It's their flagship. So I really, honestly, I talk about Samsung a lot. I love their products. Their quality control and customer service is the worst in the industry. So if you're going to make a huge purchase like that, I still go Z9K, the backlight master drive, the cognitive processor. Sony has that locked down. To me, Samsung, their 8K thing is still a novelty in comparison. Their 4K stuff is so close to their 8K, where Samsung or Sony's 8K is miles ahead of their 4K, if that makes sense. If you want the best Sony, you have to go with their AK. If you want the best Samsung, you might still be fine with the QN90B at 85 for a quarter of the price, because the QN90A outperformed the 900A last year for a quarter of the price. It may have changed with the updates, but Sean, it's just very hard to blindly buy a Samsung. I'd rather blindly buy, and again, you're going with a flagship Samsung versus a Master Series Sony. It's a whole nother level when you go Master Series. It's build quality. The X92 is thick. It's got handles on it. The 98-inch, I'm talking about the 100-inch X92. The 90H QN90A is a regular Q90A. Nothing added, no build quality differences. It looks kind of weird, actually. So for me, the Z9K is going to be a special panel this year. The backlight mass drive is no joke. So I would go with the Sony.
It's good analysis, and you're right. There's no question that the Samsungs are the hardest to trust. No question.
And in response to that, thank you. Sean is a fan. Hello, Whisper Status. Love your videos and the truth you speak. That is the truth. Sean. In fact, people in this frame, what makes you special is you don't hide and always there helping the viewers. God bless to all.
Number one brand in honesty. I'm just.
Oh, for real?
I'm not trying to get you in trouble. I'm not trying to get you.
I trust.
Thank you, Sean. I appreciate it. I have the smallest channel of the group. I've been doing it a long time, part time. I'll be doing a lot more this year. But it's just I feel like sharing what I think we all come from the place of the consumer. And I think once you stop doing that, it gets to be a little too much. So I think we all still talk about what we buy ourselves. And I think that's important for all of us here.
Yeah. I much rather watch your content, Brian.
And
what's that?
I really enjoy watching your content.
Keep us grounded. Master Series is not that great. But how about, I have to agree with you on the Samsung customer service, though. Not having faced it personally myself, I get a lot of viewers who are not happy with the way they treat them on a customer service level. And some retailers are not happy to work with them either, not to name names, but ultimately, I believe
not to name names.
Also, Sean had issues with a Samsung, right? It took him months to return his with the DSE, although he loved it, though. If only it worked better without the DSE. So it's like maybe out of 1,000 Samsungs, 50 are bad, but it's those 50 that people are very vocal about. Yeah. And that just... it's not a good look for Samsung.
Well, hey, Bat Tech has an excellent point. I don't agree at all with what he says about the Master Series meaning nothing. For a fact, it doesn't mean nothing. You may have some DSC on a panel. That's unavoidable. That can even be due to shipping. That's a screen issue. The Master Series, the sound quality, the build quality, the calibration in its factory. Also, it's their prestigious line, whether it's marketing or not. But he is right, as well as Samsung. They are so large in the market, 40%. Yes, their flaws are going to seem like more. So I do agree with that. That's why I still talk about them and still recommend them. But I am seasoned enough not to risk it with the highest end. So I don't agree with the Master Series meaning nothing. That's a little strong. You can say it's a little bit of marketing. It doesn't mean nothing, and you are paying more for that premium lineup. But the Samsungs, he's also right. There's so many sold. Of course, a larger percentage looks like Samsung, but it is a fact. I've had several of their high-end ones, and they do have a ton of issues. And Bat Tech, you can read all the forums you want. I've had KS9000, KS9800, KS8000, KS9500, 7,000 up to 10,000, all defective. So you can read as many forums as you like, my friend.
And here's the thing: they're selling so many TVs, they just don't care, man. I mean, like,
they don't care.
They don't care. And they didn't care. Brandon, when I was on the phone with them with the TV retailed for $12,000, their response was, it's too expensive to repair and too expensive to replace. So you're like, wow, what do I do? And they were like, tough. I mean, they're so busy selling TVs to hotel chains. They don't care. And their TVs have a lot of issues. And again, maybe because there's so many.
And, Sony isn't perfect. Like Ivan is saying here, thanks for the super chat. He's still waiting
far
for
from perfect.
A90J. And you're also waiting for the Dolby Vision update, right, Ivan? I mean, there's a whole bunch of stuff that making TVs is hard. Let's just get that out of the way. No matter who you choose, you have to choose the TV for your use case. And if you recognize this is my use case, as long as it turns on, which could be a whole other issue. We have brands that don't even turn on anymore, then
Yeah.
you got to accept the weaknesses, right? Assuming the weaknesses are like spread out over the design. But yeah, it's really hard with customer service because some people have great customer service, like the guy with the full refunds of the Samsung. Then you have a whole bunch of people who had horrible customer service, like right now the Sony X900H nightmare. People
Yeah.
trusted Sony.
That was
held
just
on.
wrong. That was just
Right,
wrong.
right, Brian. We talked about it. I told people,
Yeah.
look, if you're going to game, just return it. If you're not going to
Yeah.
game, don't think twice. You had a whole bunch of
Yeah.
gamers that trusted Sony and kept it, and now all they do is bellyache about the gaming feature. I'm like,
Yeah.
you were warned. Okay,
Yeah.
you were warned. You were in the return meeting. It was
Yeah.
2021 when I told you. Now it's like
Yeah.
2022.
But a lot of you guys get this question, and I want to talk about this question because it affects all of us. Is we all recommend. I recommend last year's panels all the time. But once in a while, and I know you guys get this, where someone will say, "Well, should I buy the Z8H? It's a bargain, or should I grab the A9G because it's prestigious?" My thought to that is no, because once you get 3 or 4 years or 2 years, you're going to really start seeing no kind of support. And it's so attractive because it was a prestigious TV 3 years ago, but just know that it's getting none of the updates.
Mhm.
So that's always hard because I feel bad. Someone will say, "Hey, I finally got my Z8H, but I didn't get the VRR or whatever." I'm like, guys, it's 2 years old at this point. It's just tough.
So you're saying my Vizio OLED might not get better, man?
I'm rooting. I tell you, I got killed on this channel, on my own channel, because I was hammering Vizio. I'm like, did you not see the 20 videos I did championing them?
Don't worry, man. No one will bash you here about that because it's like a running joke every time we talk about the Vizio OLED.
Hey, V, you still have that Vizio?
Me?
I have Vizio OLED.
You know,
I have the Vizio OLED and I have the 8H, and they're both just sitting in that room. I'm trying to put one up for like the over in the workout, like in the garage workout area, and then I think I put the Vizio upstairs in the kids' room again because they just watch the SmartCast. They just watch YouTube on it. They have the X Series X up there. I think the 1S, so it works fine for 4K 60. It's fine.
Yep.
Wow.
And this is doubling down here. Sean wants to let you know, actually, my Q900A, after I returned it for DSC, Samsung was kind enough to return his money, and surprisingly, they gave him more money.
There you go. Awesome.
They gave him extra money?
So?
How many super chats did you send Samsung, though?
Hey, they gave him too much money, right?
I'm like, well, this guy's really nice.
No wonder he has so many super chats.
Here's a soundbar for you.
Oh, I love it.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's just I think like every single company, they're going to have problems eventually, but
They all do.
but everyone is going to be having a different experience. For me, for example, I had Samsung for many years. In the first Samsung that I bought it open box from Best Buy, and it lasted so many. It was the KS8000. I don't know.
That's the same one I got. Open box.
That's how we met. Jolster was he had the KS8000. He was doing videos, and I bought the KS9000. I'm like, it's on its way. What do you think? You're like, I think it's okay. And that's when, if you remember, the HDR, Brandon and Jolster and Pomo, it was a whole column. It would be a column of HDR, and then I had flash lighting in every corner. I'm like, is this normal?
Oh, yeah, I remember.
Jolster's like, look, I'm really sorry, buddy.
Yeah, I never had problems with the TV.
It's the size. The KS8000 was like the 930E. It was good at its size. Anything larger, I really struggled.
And then I bought the Q7FN, I think it was Q7FN. After that, I had it for years, never had any issue. My wife loves Samsung because she has everything Samsung. She has a phone Samsung, she has a tablet and everything.
That's another thing too. People are so loyal to Samsung. Once they have like a Samsung phone, they'll buy a crappy Samsung TV and be like, they just don't care that it's not even close to being as good as like the more value.
It would be a cool field trip to bring like 15 people into a Costco and just see where they go. And I guarantee you, they go right to like the lowest Samsung and say, "I'll take it."
Well, they have them right there. Dude, they have them sitting right at the door. You walk into a Costco and the first thing you see is like a crappy Samsung TV,
Yep. Like, I'll take it.
But it's a value.
And you know what? The biggest detail that my wife loves about the Samsung TV is that she's able to connect her phone to the TV.
Oh, yeah.
That is cool.
That's why
I like
she wants
that.
Dude, ease of use is everything, ease of use. That's
Ease
why
of
physical
use.
media is dying, man. You can watch everything on everything. You're not going to keep buying
Yeah.
Blu-rays.
Ease of
I
use.
watch most of my TV content on my phone, and then the next is the 83-inch A90J. You know, like that
Yeah.
is the reality.
Yep.
Yeah, that's crazy. So yeah, I don't know. For a lot of people, they care about those little details.
Yeah.
We care more about the picture quality and black levels and everything. But other people, like my dad, he's like, I just want to watch my TV. That's it. I don't care about the rest. You know?
Joelster, have you ever sat there? I know we've all done it with our families, and you show them something much better, and they're like, "Looks the same to me."
Yeah,
Yeah.
I get that a lot, dude. He just go just
Or how-
crazy, man.
How about
The
this?
bars are purple. He's like, I don't. What are you saying?
You spend like 12 hours comparing two TVs, and then you ask my
Yeah.
kids or my wife, and they're like, hey, they look the same to me. I don't care. Like,
So
Yeah.
So you know what's funny? I saw Batman in a Dolby Cinema,
yeah.
Oh,
and movie's phenomenal. But
I wanna see
Brandon,
it.
all you guys, because of the exit signs, and theaters don't get as dark as they did. We were kids. You needed like a flashlight to walk around the theater.
Yeah, for sure, dude. I used to
Yeah.
work
So
at one.
they have these like biased lighting entryways and the exit signs. It looks like the screen is freaking blooming. But there's blooming on my theater, my real theater.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Is that one just in theaters only? You can't get it on your TV. Not that I would. I'm just.
It'll be on
be
Max
on-
at some point, but definitely if you get a
Yeah.
chance, the sound is off the charts. I mean,
I wanna go to it.
The Atmos is ridiculous.
let's go, B.
Jolster and I
watch
might
it
go to
on,
it tonight. We'll see.
Dolby.
We'll have,
God, see, I'm here in the cold. You guys are all tan.
dude, it's like 80 degrees out right
Dude,
now.
Brian, over here it's
Beautiful.
so nice outside.
Yeah,
I'm just
it's
gonna go
beautiful,
ride
mate.
ride my bike right now.
Yeah, just look out
Jolster.
Jolster's window behind him. Oh wait, that's a
Yeah,
projector.
well, that's
Oh,
like some
dude, mine
lights
is
that I have.
mine is actually we have like a microburst going on, so it's storm over here.
Jesus.
Ah, I love it.
Yeah. And just quick super chat, Cyber GT, thank you for that. Hey everyone, keep up the good work. Still
What's up,
loving this
Mark?
A84J. Thank you so much. And this kind of takes me to a question for you, Brian, because we talked about this. This appears to be the first, well, Samsung is bringing back the 8 series as a VA panel. Could this be the value leader we're talking about? So I'm talking about the QN85B.
Mhm.
I believe it's going to be a VA panel because the HDR specs are so similar to a VA specs. It's significantly better than last year's QN85A. If this is the case, big if the QN85B ends up being just less dimming zones, but everything else similar to the QN90B, for $500 less, are you thinking it's the return of the Q80R this year?
Well,
What are your thoughts on that?
the real one, Jolster knows this too. It would be the return of the Q8FN.
Oh yes, that's what
Which
I'm
was
hoping.
which
You're
was the
right.
hot
QD-OLED is
TV.
beast.
And the
Yep.
8 series way back in the day before 4K was always the one to grab. Like the 9 series was always slower because it had, other smart features. So if they can, I mean, I was always shocked that the 85 VA looked good in store. But that was a really store thing. The blooming got a little crazy off angle, but that would be amazing if they did that. I'd love to see Samsung return to having the top 2 4Ks be really nice instead of such a drop off in the flagship.
Yep. I think that's what they're
Because
doing.
Samsung's knocking it out. When you walk in the store, when I do my walkthroughs, they have their flagship, then they have 6, 7, 8, and 9, and then they have the 8K lineup where Sony has a larger X80 surrounded by expensive TVs. So Samsung really shows you their steps to this game, and I wish they would keep the top 2 as worth buying instead of having such a large. Because I thought the Q900A and the 800A was a pretty big drop off. You'd like to see not such a big drop off in between.
Yeah. And people value your opinion, Brian. We have another question for you from Shango. Thanks for the super chat. Hello, sir. I understand your points, Brian, about Samsung, but do you just go with the manufacturer's warranty service or also a good retailer like Best Buy or Value Electronics? Have you ever thought about doing a recent video about toxic gaming? So I think that's like 2 questions.
Toxic
Warranty
gaming.
service is one thing, right? But what about retailer support? And then what about toxic gaming?
Well, retailer support, I mean, I think the best part about a Best Buy warranty is they're the only ones that cover burn-in, at least in the States. I know UK has insurance in regards to burn-in. So if for an OLED, I do think it's a no question, at least it used to be a no questions asked. They give you a brand new TV after a certain number of years. Otherwise, I've always been of the school of the manufacturer's warranty is enough. If it breaks down, it usually breaks down within the year if there's a problem with it. And it's hard to say if I'm buying a $9,000 TV to spend $3,000 on a warranty. So I typically don't go with the extra warranty.
Dude, my warranty for my A90J was like $900 for the 83-inch, or no, that's for the 65-inch, dude. So
65-inch. So it gets to be. So I guess to his answer, I rather go with the next size up for that money. And then I'll battle with if it just dies. A lot of times they'll go past the 1 year if it's a power supply issue. So other than OLEDs, that was the best way to go because it covered burn-in. But otherwise, I would say no. As far as toxic gaming, I don't know, man. I'm in a private party, and there's more toxicity on YouTube than there is during gaming. So when I game, I'm in a party with my buddies. I don't hear anybody else, but you know, I would say YouTube's toxicity is the one that I see firsthand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, you know, I know you guys are always looking for new cameras every year. And so I'm on a 14 millimeter right now because I know you were asking about it, Brandon. So this is a 14 millimeter, and this is my hand, and it's now touching the camera. So it's
nice.
pretty close.
That's pretty
It's giving
good.
it a wide view.
Wait, what
Yeah,
happened?
right?
Show me again. I lost you for a second. What did you do?
Okay, so here's my hand, right?
Oh yeah, you're that close.
Right. So I'm only about maybe less than 12 inches away from the camera.
What
camera do you have?
The 14 to 24?
It's a 14 millimeter f 1.8, right?
Oh, you got it. Okay.
It's attached to a cheap ass. Well, I don't want to say cheap ass. It's a Sony A7C. I wanted to see how it would work because I wanted the preamps audio, right? So
That looks
Nice.
good.
it's not bad, right? It captures.
Yeah, the
the
wide
video is
angle
so
is good.
big,
Like this is like mine here is that like mine is like 23, and I can go all the way out to
Oh, that's how you
17,
got zoom. Yeah.
and then I can go all the way into 28. So I bought like, this is that Tamron lens, but I really miss. I had the 24 1.4 G Master lens that was like 1200, and it's so nice. But for me, it's like how like creamy, how like out of focus do I need this crap? So anyway, no, that's good. I thought your camera setup looked nice, FOMO. I was going to tell you, that's good lens, good stuff.
Yeah.
Well, I'm replacing this with the new Apple Studio display that comes with a camera and microphones and everything. So this is probably the last time. I'll keep the lens, but I'm going to return the camera and the preamps and just use the one on the Sony.
Cool.
I'm just geeking out. I'm on here with Jolster right now.
Nice.
I know, right?
So you understand,
Yeah,
Jolster's one of my heroes, bro. You have no idea, man. He's my boy.
Big fan of yours, man.
Dude, Jolster, I know you guys were on YouTube a little bit after us, but Jolster was one of them guys that you would ask a question and he was like, "Hey, what's up, man?" You're like, "Oh my God, this guy's talking to me." And I know because, FOMO, you and I talked about, keeping channels positive. And a lot of people would say that I keep my channel positive, but Jolster was really that first guy that was just hang out with this dude. So much props, Jolster. I mean, just keep doing your thing. I'm glad you're on here. But always nicest guy on YouTube. I'm like, if anyone goes after Jolster, you got problems.
Yeah, you got
problems.
Well, that is a good rule of thumb because the same thing with Chana and Techno Dad. You know what I mean? Like he's such a nice
just
guy.
Good dudes, man. They're just good guys.
So when you get a comment, something like a toxic comment saying if you like that person, then you're trash. It's like, well, that tells me all I need to know about you, not them. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I don't even have to check it. Like when someone says something about Jolster.
No, he didn't say about.
I'm like, yeah, that's you. Even in a comment, if someone says something, I'm like, oh, that's not even. I don't even have to check that one. That's you.
Yep, that's how it is.
Like, that's not Jolster because there's no way. I mean, I've been watching Jolster since the beginning. So it's like, I'm definitely going to be doing like influencer. FOMO and I talked about doing interviews and influencer interviews, and I'm going to do a video on the beginning of AV influencers, and definitely Jolster's going to be in there. You guys are all going to be in there, but Jolster's going to be one of those guys that felt that he just grew. He grew nice and slow, and just but also give Jolster mad love, but it was always realistic. You know what I mean? He was just like, look, this is what I have. This is what I do. So much props, man. I'm just geeking out. I'm sorry.
Oh, thanks, man. I appreciate it. I also love your content, man.
Joseph's like, mic drop. I'm out, man.
He's like, good, I'm done. But you got
it's like a George Costanza moment. There's nowhere to go but down from here. I'm out.
But I think that they see us collaborate. I think that's what's so great about us all collaborating is it's just like you watch all these different channels, and I really think you should watch everyone. and then come up with your own thing. But it's like you see guys that have been doing it as long as he's been doing it, and just being consistent. And he, no matter how big Joelster's channel got, he didn't change who he was. He didn't all of a sudden start getting smug. He was just legit, man. So really true, genuine guy.
Yeah, thank
all
you.
Right, enough love to you now. Okay, I'm not getting you blushing because you're red over there because it's nice out. All right,
thank you guys. It's also a pleasure to be with you guys. I met Brian and FOMO. I saw FOMO in Vegas. Such a cool guy too. He has a Ferrari, his house. I like it. It's pretty nice.
Are you joking about that, or do you really have a Ferrari, FOMO?
No, he has the Hyundai Ferrari.
It's that Kia Ferrari. It's beautiful.
The Kia Ferrari.
The Kia Ferrari, right? Yeah,
I was so surprised when I saw that car. I was
gone, long gone.
FOMO, I didn't tell you this, but when I saw your car and I was like, waiting for you to go in reverse, I was just like, inside, I was like, what the hell is this guy? Is a freaking millionaire or something? And I saw your car. I didn't want to say anything. And then I got into your car and then you're telling me, oh, how do you like the car? Dude, this car is so badass, man. Oh my God, I love your car.
So that was, we're in Vegas and I was driving a Joelster, and this was the new Genesis rental I have. It's like a Genesis GV60, and it looks great. Everywhere I drive at night, people are like, "Oh, is that like?" They don't realize it's a Genesis GV60, right?
Yeah. Oh, it looks exotic.
Yeah, dude.
Right? It looks like a high-end,
like a Bentley, like a sport Bentley or something.
Yeah, some of those cars do look like Bentleys. You're like, damn, just drive as fast as you can, so it looks like one.
Yeah, we were riding like.
Here's a great question. Thanks, CyberGT, for that super chat. If you have a TV that breaks OOW, would you throw it away, buy a new one, or find the fault, buy the part, fix it yourself? By the way, I love physical media. So I guess that breaks. What is the warranty? After warranty? Is that what it means?
Out of warranty, I guess.
Out of warranty. Okay, so what would you guys do? That's a good. Let's say my Vizio. Let's say I still have it. It's broken out of warranty. Now what?
I think what my goal is, here's what I've done in the past for customers, or myself too, is I call and I talk to them first, just test them and see like, hey, see how good the customer service is. It is out of warranty, but you should still stand behind the product, this and that, it's this or whatever. You could also ask them if there is any, if there are any recalls on that specific TV model. I had on my old like A650, the Samsung, LCD TVs that were like, they had the red outline back in like 2008.
I don't know if you remember those. Yeah,
those
the touch of red.
Yeah, those things were sick. So I had that, and one of the capacitors went out or whatever, and they the first one cost me like $300 to fix whatever the issue was. And then the next time it happened, the customer service rep was like, "Oh yeah, that's under recall, so we'll just send someone out to do it for free." And I'm like, "Really?" And then I said I already paid for it once, and they're like, "Oh, if you have the receipt, we can refund you." And I'm like, "Damn it, I definitely don't have the receipt." but so they came out and fixed it for free. So those are two options. First, I actually, like Brian was talking about customer service, I actually try to challenge customer service and try to get them to like go above and beyond. And then if that doesn't work, then you can always ask for like, if there's a recall or if there's some other solution like that might help,
Yeah, firm but polite is the way to go. You start raging, they'll hang up on you immediately. But if you're firm and you're polite and just keep escalating it, you'll be
for sure. For sure. That's a great way to go.
And there still is TV repair places, depending on what you're looking at. The problem is always going to be, is it worth, if it's a capacitor or something, they're still going to charge you a lot just to repair it. So unfortunately, the answer is typically to throw it away.
Yeah, and typically people ask me when they call me for my business, they're always asking me like, the screen is, and I'm like, nope. Like the screen is going to be the hard, cracked screen, done. The screen went out, done. If you have like, a line through it or a bunch of dead pixels, you might as well buy a new TV.
But it goes through that whole Maytag thing. Back in the day, there was a whole industry that was always supporting these products. Now you couldn't even buy those products or the screw that goes into it anymore. And they're built that way. It's I don't know. It's tough because even if I was going to buy the Z9G FOMO, you remember that. I was going to buy one from Robert, and amazing TV, but I'd be killing myself right now if I had the TV's like 200 pounds. It did have some blooming and it's outdated. And I'd be like, wow, I spent how much on this? And if it breaks, I'm screwed.
I know.
I can't even give that one away. It's heavier than my car.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is crazy. That's
If
a
I
lot
have a
of money.
TV that breaks, I just Salvation Army.
It's making
Yeah,
it to
It's
the
just
table.
not
Yeah.
worth
We
the
do
trouble.
the VA,
And they don't want it, by
VGA,
the way.
same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't mean Salvation Army. I mean, I put it in the front curb. I call the waste disposal and say, "Hey, I have a heavy item," and then they just remove it.
Yeah. You know what Brandon
Yeah.
said, Brandon, you said that you're looking to go 8K this year. Is that more curiosity or what are you thinking?
No, I don't need the 8K. I've kind of been flirting with trying to get a Samsung for a while now, and it's just like I've been like, listen, you make a TV that's going to be worthy of like, or not worthy, but like wow me with something. And I just feel like the closest that we got last year to Samsung from me being at the shootout was the QN900A. I thought was the most competitive with the other TVs. So I'm like, I would love to try and get an 8K, and I actually didn't mind that. The QN800A at this guy's house. I had it at. It wasn't a dark room, but I thought it looked pretty. And I like the metal finish to it. I like the one connect box, just like a lot of those things. The flush mount. So I'm trying to think like, but really what I'd like to do is probably go more of like the 100-inch, because like my room I could fit 100-inch between the HTA9 right now.
Yeah.
We'll see. Our wall is just so damn big. It makes it look like any. You saw the picture, Brian. You were the first one that said that it looks like an iPhone on my wall because of how big the wall is. 83
I know you're actually too far away from that. You're like, it's 80 inches.
It's only like 10 feet away. I thought it was further, but 10 feet. But still, just the size of the wall. It's another consideration. It makes the TV look like it's tiny.
Well, what's interesting is a lot of times in the comments I hear 8K. The biggest challenge people really have with them is low resolution content looks very blurry on them, and then you have to really then say to yourself, well, how much of that content are you really watching? And if I'm honest with myself, it's none. I don't watch any 480p content. You know what I mean? It's all 1080p and up. So it's interesting, but I need 8K to be. It'd have to be like the Z9K, where it's the best, just inadvertently, not because it's 8K, because it's the highest end. So Samsung kind of dragged their feet a little bit. They committed to 8K, but then they kept their flagships looking good. So you're like, and if they have a lower contrast ratio, right, FOMO, because of the pixel density, then now I'm paying for 8K and it's dormant and you can't even use it. And let's face it, these consoles, I say this on every live stream I'm on, they can't do 4K. So I don't know why we're talking about 8K. So you'd have to have a pretty beefy PC, and it's going to be. It would just sit there dormant, and we all know that the upscaling isn't going to make it look better than it is natively typically.
Hey, this comment right here, Rainer had said to the quality control or customer service.
Oh, TechMed, what's up?
Yeah, he Q950T last year, shortly after the screen failed, Samsung sent someone to his home 2 days later, and with 1 hour they replaced the screen for free in warranty. But every once in a while they have good service. I've had good service with them on the phone, over the years, but it's just everyone has different.
Like TechMed, and to his point, the TV that you had replaced is the flagship. So sometimes that does make a difference. If that was a 65-inch, I mean, you're talking about the highest end one they have. It really depends on who you talk to, but they're not known to be very understanding.
Yeah, I don't think I would like to go through all that if I buy a $300 TV.
Yeah, you buy the Crystal like $69.50.
You're like, what the hell?
$590.
They're gonna be like,
right
away.
I bought some tires. You show the receipt and it's got 1,000 items on it.
Yeah.
There's a TV at the bottom.
I get the free TV when I buy the new Samsung phone.
What is our wrap-up time today, so we can make announcements for last call? Are we good?
Whatever you guys want to do, man. I'm good.
Okay, so maybe another.
I'm about to go in just a few more minutes.
Okay, so maybe another 5 minutes. Let you guys enjoy your weekend. So we'll be on for another 5 minutes, everyone. So come with your questions, comments, or whatnot. Thank you for everyone being here, and definitely it was a pleasant surprise to see both Jolster and Brian. Man. Always awesome, Brian.
You came out of the bullpen. Me and Jolster just like.
I like it. I haven't seen anybody in a while, so I wanted to say hi. I appreciate you guys coming in.
Thank you. I miss you guys, man.
Yeah. I miss you, man.
I noticed a lot of comments there, like for gaming. Yeah, and a lot of things are coming out of 4K 60, 120 hertz. I saw one that says, "Hey, I'm bored of 4K 120 hertz. I want 8K 240 hertz." Honestly,
but what 4K 120 hertz are they really seeing? Like, none of that stuff is really 4K. I mean, like Dying Light's really cool. It's 1080p.
It's 1080p.
Almost everything
Oh my
120 is 1440. But I turned on my PC from 5 years ago. It's crystal clear, and they just can't do it.
Dude,
just
Yeah,
can't.
no.
I'm over here playing Tetris on my phone, and
Yeah, you're like the resolution's amazing. But I
It's
mean,
fine,
also,
man.
It's 4K 120, Brandon.
and
Yeah,
I can
no.
tell you guys, when you do play in a larger panel, though, it's when things do look
It's more
muddier.
noticeable.
You know, it's more
Yeah,
noticeable. But
I want to
Mhm.
grab. We got the Mario stuff for the what you call the OLED. What's the game console? The Nintendo Switch. We got the OLED, and I love it, man. Even the graphics aren't great, but I love that thing. It's awesome, and it looks pretty good on the big TV. I'm not a big gamer, but so I'm the wrong person to ask.
and that's the thing is, if you're somebody, I know FOMO has and I know Joester has. If you've seen anti-aliasing Max, if you've seen, there's not a glimmer, there's not a shimmer, there's no jaggies. It's just clean,
super clean.
So you're like, okay, I've gone from that, and it's great to see the Series X and PS5 do what they do, but it's just they're not quite.
No,
It'd
they
be
sacrifice
different if they
quality.
weren't. Yeah, if they weren't pushing 8K, we wouldn't even be having this conversation. But we have so many people chasing HDMI 2.1. It's not really something they need.
Yeah, I know. They put so much effort into that people are just
Yeah.
like, I need it, and just like, no, I tested gaming on TVs that don't support it, and it still looks really good.
And that's where the 900H we talk about this FOMO was the biggest tragedy, is they didn't go for the 950H because the 900H was supposed to be this gaming TV. So they went with something that wasn't quite as good because they thought it would be this, and it just never became that.
Yep.
Yeah, I think consoles are still very limited, but
I don't even have them yet.
the biggest thing I like about consoles versus a PC is just the convenience. The easy of use. Just turn it on and that's it.
Bro, consoles are performance anxiety. It's like having an antique car or a high-end car, and you're like, oh, it doesn't start right now. Sorry. In the meantime, it's like we said about just turning on a soundbar versus 11 channels. So, like, is that channel on? I don't think it's on.
Right.
Yeah,
Is channel number 12 on? Where's channel
it's like, I
number
think
12?
that the back one. Hold on, let me reconfigure.
my rears are working, but what about
Yeah.
my back rears? What about
Let me
side?
restart it. But right now, PCs aren't even an option.
The super sticker real quick. Go ahead.
Michelle, what's up? Go ahead.
Michelle. I was waiting for the super sticker before we moved on. Now we got it. We can close up.
Nice.
Yeah. So yeah.
Okay, go ahead, Brian. I'm sorry.
No, I think the challenge we talk about with gaming and why I say they're underpowered is, again, because we had 2 years of a year before the consoles came out. I know me and Joester both covered it. Do you need this? Do you need that? Do you need?
Yeah.
And people are saying you're going to do 4K 120, 4K 60. You're going to see, and I was like, you're not going to see that. You're going to see 120 1080p, and even I think some of the marketing had 8K on it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, dude, these guys can't do 4K. So
they can barely do 4K.
So, and again, if it wasn't for us people getting rid of panels and feeling like that whole FOMO thing is legit, it is like, oh my God, if I only had this, it'd be better. And when they get it and they're like, what do you mean it can't do that?
Yeah.
What do you mean? What do you mean the PS5 doesn't have that? That they don't. So it's interesting.
And speaking of gaming, CyberGT, thank you for that super chat. And this will be the last super chat, guys. So hold off until the next live stream. First game for the PS3 was Pac-Man. And then first game I bought for the PS4 was Galactica. And first game I bought for the PS5 was Bubbles Bobble.
So you basically bought Atari games?
High performing, right?
Like, man, this Pac-Man looks amazing on the PS3. Interesting.
Nice.
So you just buy like a Sega Genesis Classics, you'll be all set.
That's it.
Yeah.
Tetris, right? Tetris in 1080p looks amazing. Come on, 1080p 120. And Sean
jumping back in.
One more supportive super chat. Sean, you win most supportive fan today. Thank you so much, buddy. Okay, so we are going to wrap up today's live stream. It's great having our guests on. Thank you so much, guests. Brian,
thanks for the invitation.
And what's happening this week? Tell us what's happening on your channel so they can get excited and view your stuff. So we'll start with Joester. What's happening on your channel this week?
So I have a ton of projector reviews coming out. I have a ultra short throw right here. This is like a budget-friendly ultra short throw. I have 2 projectors from BenQ coming out, gaming projectors. the
Nice.
X3000i, the
Oh my God.
TK700. I have another video from the Hisense ultra short throw laser projector as well. I have another projector sitting over there. It's pretty
Damn,
much like a
dude.
Bluetooth speaker that it has a surprise in it. It's like a Bluetooth speaker, and basically you open this door on top, and it has a projector. It's pretty new. It's not even out in the market, so I'm really excited for that video.
Awesome.
And yeah,
So we'll call you Projector Central, even though there's a
the
retailer named that. I have to call you that. All right, Brian,
I'm
what's
having a
happening on
lot.
your channel,
Yeah.
buddy? I know you are revamping your channel, making it exciting and new and fun. What are you doing
Yeah,
this week?
so I have the video came out today, was a Best Buy walkthrough. I'll still do those no matter what TVs I get home. I still think people appreciate those
Yeah,
walkthroughs.
for sure, dude.
I'll be doing a physical media one because I was in a Target, a Walmart. I was in all these stores, and there's literally nothing to buy. There's a lot of standard definition DVDs. So I think that I'll be doing a tech therapy video on that. Be doing some G2 stuff, C2 prices with Robert. I'll also be seeing the C2 very soon at, I think, 77 at his store. And then I'll have the 55-inch C2 home at some point. So the
Exciting.
TV season is going to be, you know, and Shane and I have that studio with Robert. So we'll be doing some projector shootouts.
Cool, man.
And we'll be bringing a lot of that kind of this year. Even if TVs are covered thoroughly by other channels, I'm still bringing them home. Last year, I kind of hesitated if something was reviewed, you know. So it's anything I can get my hands on, I'll be doing. So I got the cameras, I got, you know. So I'm looking forward to it. And I'm going to be doing interviews with influencers and doing a lot more interviewing kind of podcasting going forward, kind of like what we're doing here. I really enjoy this. So, damn, dude.
Nice.
What does that translate over to dollars? Is it?
Oh,
You know,
rupees.
I'm
It's like
hoping-
100 rupees is like $1.40. So
Oh, all right,
Keep it
dude.
up,
It's
man. Keep it
it's
up.
like $3. But
I was like,
still,
damn, feel like a G today.
but still,
I know it was like 200.
nah, it's still appreciated. But yeah, it's like $3.
We appreciate it. Thank you,
I
Sean.
appreciate it
It
too. I was
seems
like,
companies
damn,
don't
bro.
care regarding the quality of panels, or maybe take customers for granted. You know, when you're successful, that's what happens. But they all get it from the same panel manufacturers, whether it's CSOT, AUO, Samsung Display, or LG Display. At the end of the day, you're going to have to bin it to reject those panels. Like Sony Master Series, we talked about that. They've already said they will reject certain panels and they'll put it on something else. So, you know, the person with something else is going to be upset, but the Master Series guys aren't supposed to be. Okay,
Well, plus Sean,
Brandon, let's close you out. What are you
hold on.
doing this week besides taking painkillers, my friend?
Oh,
Oh, I'm taking all kinds. I got all kinds of fun stuff. Yeah. No, I am.
He's
So
flying high already.
man, it's funny. Like I did a bunch of like the unboxing and some like install videos. I don't know about anyone else, but I was telling FOMO the views just tanked this like last 10 days. It's like nobody's on YouTube. It's crazy. But I'm taking the time to do more installation stuff. So I just did a video today, and I definitely check it out. Speakers versus soundbars, because I show my house and I show my dilemma and red flags, and I'm interested to hear about other people's issues, like what prevented you or helped you get decide between just saying screw it and get a soundbar, or let's wire this place up. And so I kind of go over a bunch of pitfalls and all that. And then I'm going to re-upload a video, because this is a good question for you guys. You know, like I did this like installation, how to hide your wires. It ended up being like 30 minutes, right? So it's like, it's a pretty long video. So then I'm like, told my editor, let's just like hack it apart and get it down to as minimal as we could. And I got it down to 19 minutes. So I'm thinking we're going to re-upload a couple videos that I did last year that were like kind of evergreen installation videos that the attention span kind of fell off. Cause it's like, I have it's a lot of good info, but sometimes you can't tell if you should stop talking in the video until you've already uploaded it.
My videos are all long. So
yeah. So I have a couple, like, uninstalling a video. I uninstall one, and that's 5 minutes. And then for the next 30 minutes of the video, I like fix the drywall. So I basically hacked off the end of that. And I'm just like, here's how to uninstall your TV. So
it's
I'm gonna
put it in reverse.
No, I just
Throw it
cut
back in
off
the
all
box.
the extra stuff. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, just put an install video in reverse. There you go.
Well, these reboxing videos are easy.
Yeah, it's definitely not that easy to
You and your wife
rebox
are
TV.
walking backwards. You're like,
Wow,
man,
look at them, man. That's awesome.
But, and then I think this year for me, it's going to be a lot of my TVs that I'll buy are going to be, I'm going to try to time it to get them when people, like, I'm going to buy and sell them. So get an 85-inch, check it out, compare it to my A90J. it's kind of cool to have that as a reference because I didn't think that that was going to be such a good idea. But,
Yeah.
you know, I used it for the 85 QN90A and I was pretty impressed with the QN90A, you know, as good as it could be for half the price of my A90J. So I'm going to do some of those in the living room and get some of that stuff done. So, you know, just TV season is upon us. Oh, and last thing, I will be having a video on this Anchor Eufy like doorbell lock thing. So they're sending me one of those. It's the first time I'm going to have a product sent to me because I really wanted to get it because it has a doorbell and it's like a locking mechanism. So, and you can like put your like thumbprint on it. So it sounds pretty dope. So I'm pretty excited for that.
I mean, I would say too, that I think we all can agree that it's really hard when you're a creator. There's certain things you want to do, but they don't get views.
Yeah.
So you shy away from
sure.
doing that.
Feel the same.
So I this year am gonna take that ego out of it. And I'm just doing what I want to put up. And if it doesn't do well, because I don't want to get stuck just doing the same thing over and over.
Yeah.
But it does hit the ego when you're like, wow, I did a lot of work on this video and it did nothing.
For sure.
This other one did huge. But then the algorithm puts me in a box.
Yeah.
And I don't want to ever. So I have to be okay with just putting out. Then I don't hesitate putting out content. I know we all think about put something out and then we don't. And you're like,
because you're like, is it worth it? Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
There's
so I'm definitely
struggle.
going to be more free this year. And if it doesn't do, because Shane and I did a live stream Batman review, and it was like we did it really late at night, and it only got like 30 people were in it. My regular live streams would have like 100 people in them.
Yeah,
and I was almost like, well, let's just take it down. And I'm like, well, that's kind of bitch to pull it down. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just leave it up there, and it'll do fine. Like, because even your own critics watch. Everybody watches each other's. I just got to stop with that and just do what I like. So I know it's hard for all of us to do that.
I think we just gotta keep on experimenting.
I want to be known for the
content.
algorithm that's promoting my 83-inch A90J $4,000 TV.
Exactly. Where do I put that? On a rug channel?
If you're listening, YouTube algorithm, 83-inch A90J, only $4,000.
You put it on a steak channel.
Do you know how you can do this, FOMO? The best way to do this would be is do one of those community posts where you ask for a poll, and each one of them put, will you buy this TV? Will you buy this TV? All the
how much would you pay?
Yeah, exactly. Or how much would you pay for this? And then just put and then just
do
put
you
my
live in
like
San
Instagram
Diego?
thing on there. Then you know like 5,000 people will see it.
Well, people have said too they think the A90J is an old TV, and I'm like, it's carrying over. I'm like,
it's insane. Like it's a great. It is. I tell you, that's the number one thing about it for people that are considering it. I look at that TV. It's the first TV I've ever had where I look at the A90J when I'm watching a movie and in HDR, and all of our family is like, God, that looks so good. Like that looks so good.
That's what it's all about.
Yeah.
It still looks great. I'm telling you, we're talking about inches or millimeters. If you convert that to color volume or whatever, yes, it looks better head to head, but you take the QD-OLED away. It's A90J, G2, even the C1, C2. It's an OLED. It looks great in a dark room. Okay, I think we've held our guests long enough. Thank you, everyone, for coming. And with that, thank you, TechMed, for that last goodbye. We will be on next time again. Until next time, pass the remote, my friend.